I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regret. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks. Oh my. It is the last party of the weekend. This is 10 Drink Minimum, sponsored by the Topo Chico seltzer. It's like right here. Right? I'm afraid to put my hand up. It'll like zoom in on me. I think I've got that figured out. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
And then I can do this. All right, you can do like this, I think, and it should zoom. No, maybe not. Maybe I don't have it figured out.
There you go.
And then it's like, wait a minute. Go back out.
The camera loves you.
That's, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. Devil Smiley is here today.
I am here today. It's more my my background lighting.
Yeah.
Though.
And you have Carlos the cow behind you now.
I now have Carlos the cow behind me. Look at check that thing out.
We thought you were good. You like messaged me last night. And you're like, I'm dead.
I said I had a fever and I was not sure if I could make it to the show.
He's like, I got the black lung pop. No, he did message me, which I totally appreciated. And so then I was like, well, shit. So I better call in the big guns. So I called in Sarah and Kelly.
Hey.
From Dry Heat Comedy. And then Smiley, he showed up.
Yay.
I mean, You're welcome.
I know, right? Thank you.
I brought all the Topo Chico.
You did, because we were like, after the Ming invasion, we were wiped out. Our Topo Chico resources were depleted. we were near the end. I was like, these are dark days, Brody.
You should make like a new, almost like a Oregon Trail game, but it's just going through a weekend at Comic-Con. And like, you have to fill up all your supplies, and
you're almost out of Topo Chico.
Yeah, exactly.
You died of heat exhaustion from wearing your costume for too long.
One of the Power Rangers has died of dysentery.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You ate bad guacamole in the green room. Ew. We definitely have a really cool guest with us today. We have actor Alexis Berent with us. Welcome.
Woo. Thank you for having me. It's my very first podcast.
I know. She's like, what do I do here? And like, I put the microphone in front of her, and she was like, I don't know what this is. No white. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome. I have to tell you something that's alarming to me.
Oh.
Everyone who walks through the front door of my house, the dog flips out when they see them for the first time. Not only is the dog your friend right away, you're literally, hold on, let's get in on this.
This took me years to reach this level. This is unbelievable.
Look at this.
Look at
this.
Gosh. That's fun.
The camera's like, nope, no dog. Look at that.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. The camera's like,
blessed.
No. But so I have to think you're a witch.
Well, don't tell my secrets on air.
I'm like, who is this person? This could be bad. Because I'm like, right away, I'm like, oh, she must be great. Dogs know. And the dog's like, I know to be nice to her, because she will put a spell and kill us all.
She has power.
She has power beyond belief. So welcome.
That's great.
Welcome. So you've done interviews before, right?
Yeah, I've been interviewed, but it's usually in a context where it's like in person, but they'll just write everything down.
Yeah.
So I can be like, oh, scratch that.
It's at a press junket.
Yeah. This is a little higher stakes.
And they're like, Alexis, what we're going to talk to you about is it's going to be real fluff. Don't worry. It's going to be fun. You'll enjoy it. Then they ask you all the fucked up shit. And you're like, whoa. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. How is everybody today?
Good. We're doing good.
Yeah. Kelly, you're doing well?
Yeah, Kelly's got it hard this week because she's doing a lot of work up at the legislative session. So she's driving, commuting.
I was supposed to drive up for a committee hearing tomorrow morning at like 6, but then I got a message 2 hours ago that was like, don't worry about it.
Oh.
So I'm feeling good. Things are great.
Those are always the best when you're like dreading some shit, and then they're like, you know what? Don't even think. You know, I think we're gonna move that. And you're like, oh, okay. You're like, you know, yeah, okay, if we have to.
I think this will work as an
and then
email.
you're like, yes,
Yeah.
This whole session could have been an email.
right. I mean, that's life right there. So, Alexis, like, so you're an actor.
Yes.
So how long have you been doing that?
Professionally for like 3 or 4 years, but it's something I've done since I was a kid. I probably started around 8 years old doing theater and classes.
Okay. So it's weird because like I had a conversation with somebody who's like a ballerina, and I asked them, I was like, were you like the little girl that was like, I want to be a ballerina? And she was like, no, I just kind of fell into it because my friends were doing dance, and she wanted to do tap dance, and her friends went to do like a class that had all three, and her mom wouldn't let her do it because they didn't have the money, but then they finally got the money. So her mom found someone at church that taught ballet. She got there and she was like, when do we like clap the shoes on the thing? But then she ended up loving ballet. So what made you want to be an actor?
So I was actually just thinking about this because I can genuinely remember the exact moment that I was like, I want to do that. And I was in elementary school, and it was a field trip to see a local production of Annie.
Oh.
And it was not a high budget production. Like it was nothing crazy impressive, but I remember being in the audience and thinking I would much rather be on stage.
Oh,
like thinking about like how much fun that looked, like when they were singing like NYC and everybody's dancing, and I was like, that looks insane. So that was the moment I decided like that's something that I'm interested in and I want to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of musical theater, or do you do mostly?
I do a bit of musical theater. I don't have the strongest voice, so it's something that's more of like a hobby than a professional thing that I do, but I really enjoy it. And I actually spent the summer teaching like a kids musical theater camp and putting on like little children's productions. It was really fun.
That's so fun.
Did you do Cardboard Playhouse?
It was Cardboard Playhouse.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. They're doing what do they have? Hadestown?
Hadestown,
yeah. That's a great show too.
Your agent hit me up and she's like, "Do you want to go to this?"
Yeah,
so I'm probably going next weekend.
Yeah,
or the weekend
it's a good
after.
show. I'm gonna try to go too.
She didn't ask if you wanted to see Hadestown. She told you to go to Hades.
Yeah.
I was like, "You guys have Hadestown? Yeah, you can go to Hades, you son of a bitch." And I was like, "Whoa, Carissa, I will go if you need me to."
Carol, don't twist my arm.
to the play. So
I think we're going next weekend too.
Yeah.
are you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We usually try. I mean, we support the class.
tell me when you're going so I can go with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Usually it's the Sunday matinee one that we try to get to. I know.
Tough for you.
Tough for you.
Well, I don't know if we're going to do a show next Sunday or not.
Oh.
It's my birthday weekend.
Yeah.
My birthday's on Monday.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right.
My birthday's on is it Monday? I don't know.
It's your birthday.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Time goes by quickly. I don't know. I'm like looking at shit. I'm like, that's a month away. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's like a week and a half away. Shit. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't know. We might. But yeah. So have you seen Hadestown yet?
I have not. I'm gonna try to go next weekend also.
Cool.
What was your favorite one doing when you were growing up?
Like shows that I don't know. I really enjoyed. I was in Seussical.
Yeah.
I was a baboon.
Yeah.
With like an added animal that's not actually listed. I did Wizard of Oz. I was a snowflake. I wasn't very good as a kid. I was really, really anxious and shy. So it's something I wanted to do, but then when it actually came to it, I was very nervous, and it took a lot of years of building up technique and confidence before I even got a speaking role.
Okay. Was there ever like another kid that was just like way too into it?
Oh yeah. There were so many that like took it very professionally, that were the leads in every single show.
Yeah.
And so
pushed you out of the way to get to sing in front of somebody.
But it was also kind of like a motivational thing. It's like, if they can do it, maybe one day I could try to do it too.
Yeah. So,
Chris, I sort of can't believe that you weren't a theater kid in high school.
I would if they had it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It wasn't really an elective where I was from either.
Yeah, they're like, we have basketball. We're adding baseball this year.
Why don't you go on the
And
bowling
next year after you
team,
graduate,
Smiley?
we're doing our town. Yeah.
and we have FFA, which you have to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was no way around that, so I got to do
Future
that.
Farmers of America.
Correct.
Oh,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
did you grow up?
Clovis, New Mexico, but like when I went to high school, it was Grady, New Mexico. I was in a play when I was in elementary school. I sang Johnny Appleseed, the song in Tall Tales and Legends.
Oh yeah,
and the other kids made fun of me because I got to do a solo. So, and they made me feel bad.
They're all, we're so jealous of you.
Yeah,
rotten hell. Go to Hades.
Go to Hades.
Everybody was. I just remember everybody was upset because we had to wear makeup.
Oh, you have to though.
I
You have to
know.
read for the stage.
That's the
Ew,
fun
makeup.
part.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were like elementary boys, you know. So it's like
Sure.
I ain't wearing no.
You didn't know
makeup.
It's
any
like
better
face
yet.
paint. I don't know, when it's like little kid stuff like that, it's always just like face paint
Yeah.
stuff, basically.
Y'all didn't wear makeup in the FFA.
We did not.
The rodeo clowns? Did you have the opportunity to be a rodeo clown? Like,
Why would that be a thing?
it'd be so
That's the
fun to be like,
thing.
and the kids are now the rodeo clowns. And oh no, the bull got another
All
one.
right, so I have a friend who's a rodeo clown,
Mhm.
and he has a scar across his forearm where a horn went right through his forearm. So, yeah, I don't think the kids be rodeo
But for
clowns.
the kids, they could do it for like the sheep or like what?
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Come
like
on.
mutton busting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he got the scar through his. No, I'm just kidding. Mutton busting.
One of their tusks went right through.
Yeah.
But Lexi, I can really empathize with like that. What growing up, I also was like always in the chorus for things and never
Same.
had solos and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
always in the chorus.
Mhm.
I
Or
did.
featured dancer.
I was in choir for 3 years, so I did sing
You tenor or bass?
alto.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
I had so earlier this week, I had a little bit of congestion,
Mhm.
and it gave me really good alto voice.
Mhm.
And so I was singing for everybody at work, and they were like, "What the fuck?"
Damn.
So, I don't do it very often, but yeah. But so okay, so you were in the Cardboard Playhouse,
Yes.
and then did you just get the bug, and you were like, "I got to do this"?
Well, also, just to clarify, I wasn't in Cardboard Playhouse as a kid. I didn't grow
Yeah.
up in New
Oh.
Mexico.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to leave. I'm just kidding. Where did you
Okay,
grow up
I'll
at?
go too.
I grew up in Michigan,
Oh, great. Michigan. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Michigan's
Cool.
cool.
a little far from
Detroit,
here.
Detroit.
Detroit area, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a friend that he grew up in Kalamazoo,
Oh, yeah.
and he would tell people, and I'd be like, I don't know if that's a real
In
place.
your little
Sounds like a
cartoon
fake
town.
town.
Sounds
yeah.
like, is that where the unicorn meat comes from? Yeah. Kalamazoo. Yeah.
Detroit and Albuquerque have a lot in common, actually.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of parallels there.
Mhm.
So,
For sure.
Eminem rapped here. Oh.
yes. I mean, sure.
What?
We've had plenty of white rappers in the years. So we can, yeah.
So how long? When did you move here?
2020.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
So you haven't
not
been here
great
long.
timing.
So how do you feel about New Mexico?
I like it. I definitely don't regret coming here
Okay.
at all.
I don't know. I don't regret.
I don't
coming.
regret it. That's the best way to put it.
It's a
I
good
got-
answer.
That's
It's a solid answer.
That's like a very good answer.
Like, you know what I mean? It's not like this
Mhm.
is the place I like see myself being forever, but
Oh really? No, I'm just-
I enjoyed my time here, and I think career-wise, it's been really helpful. Like, if I
Yeah.
had moved to somewhere like LA or New York, I would probably be homeless right now.
Well, yeah, because your house would have burnt down.
Well, come on.
Ow.
No,
You could have moved to New York. Come on.
Yeah, New York would be fine.
that's what I was talking about. Your house could have burnt down in New York. They have fires there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Never
they
know.
do. Sometimes there's bad like gas work in like the basement. And it just
Oh
takes the
no.
whole building. Yep.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my
I
God.
was gonna actually visit it this year.
You should go visit for
Oh, I
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
there.
no,
It's,
yeah.
it's so much fun.
It's
It's
the
so
best.
fun.
Sarah and I met in New York, so we lived there for like a long time. So New York is like for us.
It's home. And it's crazy because neither one of you are, well, you're both from like kind of the same region of the United States.
Yeah, we
But
moved
you-
across the country to meet the girl next door. That's what I always say.
Listen, listen, Texas is a whole nother country, right?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
What I love about Texas right now is watching the people in Houston go, "What the fuck is happening? Why is there snow here?"
It's so
Oh.
cute. It's like the cutest reckoning with climate change that I've seen.
Yeah. Did you see some people skiing down Bourbon Street?
I love that.
I was like, that is fucking a trip. I showed it to my mom and she was just like, what's going on? I was like, it's called climate change, which means the climate's changing. So, you know.
One of our favorite comedians in New Orleans, like,
Mhm.
was on Bourbon Street, and he also like he was making a bunch of content, and he like kept grabbing stone, like licking it, and being like, I don't know if I needed to do that. I think that was maybe too far.
Ryan?
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the answer is, no,
No.
go ahead, do it.
I mean, come on, what are you gonna do?
Did you ever make snow ice cream when you were a kid?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yes.
So you grew up in Michigan. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus.
We got crazy snow.
She's
crazy
like,
winters.
yeah, snow sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
No. She's like, I don't miss snow. I don't miss my gang. Whatever. I assume. Oh yeah,
She wants that ball.
She does. She's not going to grab it. You have to like, yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. So you were acting in Michigan, and you're like, did you like come to New Mexico because of the amount of stuff that's going on?
Yep. 100%.
Here? Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, like, how did you find that out?
Google.
You're all, where are the places that are filming at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's
is
all
exactly how it went.
Atlanta or Albuquerque?
Yeah. Michigan used to have the same tax credit that we do
Yeah, but that ended
a long time ago.
years ago. Very,
Mhm.
very long time ago.
They made that Wizard of Oz movie with James Franco there, and I think
Yeah.
that was the last one.
I
And
think
they
we
were
gotta-
like, James Franco ruined it, as he so often does.
But little Bobby Tucker says Topo Chico, as he often does. I don't know if he likes it or he just likes yelling that. So
It is fun to yell. I will give it that.
yeah.
Topo Chico!
So then my question on that is like, so when you were moving here, you Googled it.
Mhm.
What were like the things you Googled and found out about Albuquerque that you were like,
Well, it was actually specifically the movie maker every year comes out with a list,
Mhm.
and they
Okay.
just came out with the list
Mhm.
like last week, and
Mhm.
Albuquerque's #1 again.
Again.
So
yeah, take that in your face, United States.
We are part of that. We are part of the United States. And that's,
We'll see.
anyway,
We don't know that.
keep going.
we're gonna be New America soon.
Well, we now have a Gulf of America now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
That can't be real.
my favorite meme was we never had blizzards in the Southeast. The Gulf of America sucks. And I was like, that's great. So the list came out, and you're like, all right.
Yeah. So what happened was, I graduated from college
Mhm.
during like the peak of the pandemic, where everything was quarantined, everything was shut down.
Dang.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do with my life? Because I had I was actually almost a news anchor.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
When I was graduating college, I got like a big broadcasting scholarship,
Ooh.
and I had a bunch of interviews for news stations all around, and I was like in the process of it, and then everything shut down. I was like, oh, well, there goes my post-college career. What am I going to do?
This is Channel 4, and I'm Alexis Berent.
Mhm.
And this is your news, right?
Next,
Pretty
after
much.
the break,
Yeah.
he climbed to the top of Mount Everest, but
He's
But
he's gay. I mean, blind. Yeah, that's my favorite. It is. Yeah, he was. That happened here in New Mexico a long time. It was like one of the first viral videos, and it is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love it. We joke about it all the time.
I love when there was like a lady, and they would call her, they would say her name. They'd be like, her name is Sarah Gutierrez. And I was like, Gutierrez?
Are you talking about Cynthia Izagirre?
No,
Okay,
there was
she
no,
was
the lady
really-
was like, because I grew up with a lady, like her last name was Gutierrez, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And they were like, Gutierrez. And I
Oh,
was like, what?
Too
the
many.
hell?
Sounds like an AI voice when
Yeah.
they say it like that.
Yeah. So were you excited to do like broadcasting?
no, it's something that kind of fell in my lap because my last year in college, I was on this kind of talk show thing. It was like a locally broadcast talk show where we would interview like local business people and alumni from my school.
Okay.
And through that, I earned this big like Michigan Broadcasting Scholarship. And through that, there was a big job fair at the ceremony. And it was not something I wasn't a journalism major. I was a film major. It's just something I started doing. And I was like, you know what? That's a career. Like,
Oh, wow.
that's a job that I could do. So it's something I fell into, but I wasn't really in love with it. So it wasn't the worst that it didn't happen. It was more just really scary in the moment because I thought I had like the next couple of years planned out, and then
Sure,
everything went
yeah.
away at the same time. And I was like, well, what
That's-
am I supposed to do?
That's called life.
Mm.
You're like, I know what I'm doing. And then life goes, no, you don't.
No, but this is like special. I mean, 2020 was special life. That's
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
special life
Yeah.
situation. That's a
Yeah.
wild thing to
Right.
like
That's true.
I was
graduate into.
I know I was booked. I was booked that year for like 4 more projects, and they're all canceled.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, I guess I'm napping a lot.
we were supposed to get married that year, and then
Oh,
we
we
had
had
to
to cancel
replan our
3
wedding.
times.
Yeah, it was awful.
So you just napped?
We just
instead?
bought a house instead.
Yeah.
But
That's smart.
so, Alexis, so were you were doing acting stuff before that though, right? You
Yes.
were also okay.
Yeah.
So, I think after 2020, it's been wild how much the audition process has moved to being almost exclusively just do it in your own house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for me, before that, I'd really only ever done theater. So I was a theater minor in college, and I went for filmmaking because I was like, well, that could be a steadier career than like trying to pursue acting. I could do stuff behind the scenes. But while I was in college, I just ended up like every time somebody had a short film for a class, they'd come to me to act in it
okay.
Yeah.
because they knew like I was also an actor.
Yeah.
And it just became my thing. But I wasn't really considering pursuing acting as a profession. So I just did like theater through my school, short films, and then the pandemic hit and I was like, maybe I will pursue what I want to do and what I've always wanted to do. But when I moved here, self-taping is all I've ever known.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice. Yeah.
I've never really done in-the-room auditions other than callbacks, which there aren't a lot of those in person even either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
rare.
And it's weird because like I've interviewed for jobs since everything shut down, and everything's that way. Where in my sector too, where like they're like we're gonna send you a Teams invite and we're gonna do it over the team, and then there's no video.
Oh,
you know?
wow.
And it's so weird because it's all audio, and you know, and there's like the last interview there was 7 people in it. And so you didn't know who was going to ask you a question. Like it would just, and you didn't know what they look like. And then I get hired and I have to go work for these people that I have no idea what they look like. So it's kind of like weird. Okay, cool. So I guess it's kind of the same.
I feel like
So-
this is a security clearance thing.
No, they don't want you on that. It's weird. It's another one of those like,
It's so hard to get hired at Anonymous.
yeah, right. And I was like, I'm like, come on, man, hire me. It's
they
fine.
are looking to grow this year.
Yeah, right.
You're going to give me trouble.
I know.
They'd be all-
I'm just joking.
Are you trying out for Anonymous?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I'm a comedian by trade. Please, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Promise
Yeah.
you, it's just a joke.
It's fine. They already know everything.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They
Like, he's
listen.
not.
They listen in on me, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
You have a podcast that you just tell
You
the
talk
truth
all the
on.
time.
I know people.
Everything.
It's really fun. Yeah, I won't go into that. But like, so what's the weirdest short film thing someone asked you to do?
I've been a dead body in a lot of things.
Yeah, I was gonna
I've
say.
been the
Mhm.
murdered person. I'm also I have like a hypermobile joints.
Oh, okay.
So I can usually be like, bleh.
Mhm.
So that's something, I guess it's weird, but it's also something I'm used to doing at this point.
Yeah, that's interesting.
There is
Yeah.
something about like, especially like dude scriptwriters, where they're just like, and then we'll have her be dead.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, no problem. If that's what you need.
One of our really good friends from New York, like she has been an actor for like that's her whole job, has been an actor for at least 20 years now, and she fully just like every
So
SVU,
many Law and Order.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
dead body, dead girl,
Really?
dead
Babysitter. Yeah, exactly.
If she's lucky, she's like, I get to talk a little bit, and then I turn up dead. You know?
Yeah, she's the bartender who worked with the girl who ended up dead. But I mean, one of the best 48-hour film projects I ever saw here in Albuquerque had Chad Burnett.
What? What?
You know Chad.
I don't.
Yes, he's the newscaster who was in Tricklock.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know his last name was Burnett.
If I'm messing that up, that's crazy because he's
No.
one of those guys that like helped me.
I think that's right.
But he had this video where he was like talking to a girl the entire time, and he was like a mad scientist, and it was a dead body in the cooler,
Okay.
and it was my friend Emily. And then he gets in the cooler because they're like coming to bust it up with like and arrest him. And he's like, I love you to the dead body. And then at the very end, the lights go out and the dead body just goes, I love you too. Because it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It was like such a great little story, and it won every award that year. It was so
Oh,
cool.
that's cool. I did one 48-hour film festival with Smiley,
Oh yeah.
and it was, and I did it with these guys that were like, yeah, we make movies. I don't think they do. I really don't. Like one of the guys was like, I'm a sound engineer in the movie industry. I don't think he is. Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of that was interesting. I come like
Yeah.
like right from set, so I could do that, saying that in the morning. And they're like, "Okay, so you know what the scene is?" I'm like, "You haven't even given me a script
No,
yet. What am
I
I
don't."
doing?"
Yeah. And like after it was over, I was like, I could have done so many different things that would have fixed this, but like
Yeah.
I trusted those, so
It's the process. I mean, have you done some 48
I've
hours?
done a lot.
I bet. Yeah.
of 40. It's actually how I met my fiance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's is it a cool story?
No.
He was a dead body. I had to climb into the
I
refrigerator.
was a dead body, actually, and he wrote the script.
Is that right?
Yes.
No way. Wow.
That's cute. It's a meat cute, but it's spelled
Does-
M-E-A-T.
Yeah.
Does he live here?
Yeah, we moved here together.
Oh.
Yeah, we met in college.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow. So it's the whole. So you guys got the thing together. So what was your biggest apprehension of moving to Albuquerque?
Can't
Well,
go for the
so-
good things, Chris.
What? I'm just saying.
Well, so it was a tough move here because it was also the pandemic,
Yeah.
and we didn't know anybody here. at all. And we didn't really know anybody in the industry, and we were both moving for the film industry.
Right.
And so when we decided to move, it just seemed like the best bet compared to somewhere like LA because just the cost of living.
Right. Well, and then like there had to be the fear though that like, is the movie industry going to come back here?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And even if it came back, would we be able to get our foot in the door? But our real goal, we told each other this, we'll try it out for a year. And even if we make it onto one set, it will have been a success.
Yeah.
Was how we kind of came into the process of coming here. Even if we just got on one set and then we had to move back home or something, it will have been worth it to us. Because again, we grew up in Michigan, not a big film industry there, not a lot of professional work there. So just the opportunity to get here and to do something was worth it for us. And it was so much more than that. Once we actually got here, we started working right away.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then I really want to know how you met Carissa. Like,
yeah.
How did you?
I stalked her.
Yeah.
Like most do.
Is that a thing? Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so hold on.
You get some
Like,
IMDb
not
Pro and you like
stalking, but I
No.
was.
So
you know.
people like, we do the, Sarah and I do the cabaret with Carissa, and like, I've had people that are like, you know, Carissa Mitchell? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh my gosh. She's so many people want her to be.
she's
their agent.
unbelievable.
And I'm like, all right. And so you like stalked her. You're like, I where does she hang out at?
Not in that sense. It was more once, about a month after we moved here and we got a little settled down, I was like, okay, I got to really get into this. I need representation if I'm going to work. And yeah, Mitchell's one of the best agencies here. And I applied to a couple of I pretty much like picked out like the top couple, but I was really set on Mitchell when I first got here. So I just made sure I had all my materials together. I got all my letters of recommendation from like people that knew me in college that I worked on their stuff. And I just got really lucky, honestly, because I got a response within a month.
Oh, wow.
And some people, it can take like 6 months to a year.
Serious? Wow.
Yeah.
I got really lucky. Within a month, I got a response and an interview, and I was signed. So it was a very quick process for me, but I try to tell people do not expect that.
You throw the ball to me.
Sorry,
The dog
I'm
got
not
it.
an
It's fine.
athlete.
I'm not either, apparently.
That was a perfect ball dispense.
Yeah. Well, you do something with the ball.
Yeah.
So she stops if you can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I can. I'll have my eye open for it. All
right.
For the opportunity.
It was easy for me. I just, I took a roller skate and threw it through her car window, and I was like,
Carissa's.
I smashed up your car. What?
What?
Sign me.
What?
No, she's not my agent.
She is Sarah's agent.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Is that what you did? You smashed her window out? And...
No, I knew her for a very, very long time and really respected everything she's ever done. And then we went to lunch and talked about opportunities.
That's one way to do it, I guess.
Yeah, just really get to know and like genuinely love somebody on a really deep level, and then respect them. And
this is also fully a comedian track. You know what I mean? Like Sarah's been doing comedy forever, crushing it, and so that's why.
No, of course. I'm just teasing though.
And she threw a skate through her window.
Yeah, and then also the skate, because you had done the first one, and I was like, well, what are you doing with the left skate?
You were like, that worked for you?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
good idea.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny because we all know Carissa, and she's, I see her, I don't see her in that light because like I know her socially. And so then when people are like, and then when I see her do business, I'm like, wow, she's really good and professional. And she does this podcast. I asked her to come today, and she was like, thank you for the invite. But she's like, go to Hades Town or something.
yeah.
There you go, Smiley.
I deeply respect the work that Carissa does and what she's done to build up opportunities for people here. It's like so cool. And sometimes the comedians don't even know, like they'll come and do Alma's cabaret, and I'll just be like, did you have a good time? And they're like, yeah, that crowd was incredible. And I'm like, yeah, for real. It's one of the best live shows that we have here in town. And then additionally, to be seen by Carissa at all is such a cool opportunity. And none of them even like, I have to be like, do you understand? Like you have to see like, she got people on The Mandalorian, dude.
You're kind of auditioning right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about that. They are kind of.
And it's totally, that's the cool thing about getting seen by industry is like, they don't have to do anything with like what it is that they're seeing, but getting in front of them, like you were talking about, like you were so ready and so organized that it's like, when those opportunities pop up, you jump at them. Like,
well, and I think a big thing too, and I mean, I'm not trying to speak for Chris, but if it were me, if someone came to me and they're like, hey, in which they often do come to me and they ask me if they can do this or that or the other. And from my friend Sarah over here,
Hello,
and Kelly, I've learned some tricks, but I'm like, if someone comes to me and they're just like, hey man, I want to do your show, man. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, what do you do? And if they're just kind of like, they don't have any idea of what to say, then I kind of blow them off. But then like, there's like some kind of steps that people don't realize exist before they jump in. And so if you come and you're like, hey, here's my portfolio, here's all the things I've done, here's it shows that like you are serious about your craft and serious about what you're doing. So I think that that's one thing that people that don't understand that like is great to do when you're, in this industry, because so many people want an agent. So many people want to do the same thing you do. But I mean, not everybody gets to, and part of it is like showing initiative, showing up, and showing that you're here to work and not,
exactly.
and you're going to show up when they send you on set.
Yeah, and people, they don't want to they don't think of acting and filmmaking as a business.
No.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this is what I want to do and I want to be famous, but they don't think of it as a job. And this is a job. Like, you have to show up, you have to be professional. And the thing is, too, if you've ever been on a professional set, it can seem sometimes very laid back and very casual, but you were still showing up to a job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were still putting in work. You were still making your impression on people, and you have to put in the work. It's not just going to fall in your lap.
No, hell no. In anything, like, okay, so the thing that's kind of cool is we have like 4 different disciplines in the room right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was that CJ?
Yeah, it was CJ. CJ said, "What's up, guys?"
What up,
Hi,
guy?
CJ.
CJ Cullen from New Jersey. He's actually he teaches film to high school students.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
But we have an actor in here. We have a comedian. We have a writer. We have a podcaster. And then we have another guy who's in the movie industry as well.
But I did start off doing a professional dance, so that's where I
Yeah.
started.
So five
Okay.
different disciplines. So and I'll tell people out there who are watching, there's not one single one of these that doesn't take a shitload of work to be successful in. Not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it goes, right? You know what I learned last night? Like sometimes you take things for granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we do almost AAA cabaret show, Sarah and I, and we get to see like drag queens that come in and perform, right? Well, I took for granted that there are different levels of drag queens.
Oh yes.
And we get kind of the cream of the crop on the AAA cabaret, because I went to a show last night, and I'm not saying anybody was bad, but there were definitely some that were, there were like the openers and the closers.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I never even I never had thought of that,
There is a bar in New York that does a drag open mic. So it's like you can come with a piece and you can have like the DJ like play it for you and try it out. And I was like, every art form should have some form of like free entry point to what you're doing. And I was like so enamored with the idea, like you could just show up in drag and just be like, hit it. I think it's a great thing.
You bring your own like portable curtain to come out of, to bust out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think when you probably sent her like probably a professional packet, she probably was like, okay, let's move that one up, throw some of these other ones away. I don't think she's doing it.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Did you have to like call and be like, hey, did you get my application, or did it just happen?
It did just happen, but I think I did email or like message a few times. Hey, I don't know if you saw my resume, which you should not do.
No.
You're not supposed to do that. Sometimes that will get you turned away if you're harassing them. But I was just so, I don't want to say desperate, but I wanted to start working as soon as possible. Yeah, I was like, I want to do this. Like I didn't get like a day job. I just wanted to pursue this.
There was no plan B, man.
There still isn't.
I got nowhere else to go.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Like when I decided I was gonna go all in on acting, I was like, and that means I'm gonna stop bartending then. I gotta put all my work in this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary. It's scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
So I wish so my phone died before I got in here, but the one thing I wanted to do, knowing that you were the guest, was pull up your IMDb and just ask you questions about every single thing. But like, what's some stuff that you've booked since you've gotten here?
Yeah.
So one of the bigger things I've done, which got me into the union, was a Showtime series called Waco: The Aftermath.
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
she was
you were
David Koresh' wife, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Nice.
Oh my God.
I
That's-
played a
This is Waco.
14-year-old.
That's what we
Yeah.
that's what we talked about like the first time we met. She was like I was on the Waco, and I was like, whoa, because I have this weird like thing with Waco. Like who doesn't? So you were David Koresh's wife
And so that was really interesting.
on the show.
On the
Not
show,
really,
yes.
Yeah, not in real life.
That's the only reason why I was.
I don't think I was born yet.
Yeah.
when it
Yeah,
actually
no.
happened. Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day, and it was him playing the guitar, and it's like, if you say you like rock and you don't know who this band is,
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, the Waco thing is so funny because now it's all Fixer Upper, Magnolia,
oh yeah,
Chip and
Ship-
Joanna Gaines.
Ship-
Like that's all they're known for. Like all.
Shiplap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So now all Waco is just like we're really beautiful.
But don't they have Dr. Pepper? is
Oh
there?
yeah, the Dr Pepper factory is out
I
there
want
too.
to go
Mhm.
there actually.
wait.
Yeah.
Do you like Dr Pepper?
I love Dr. Pepper.
Oh man,
It's the
that's
only
awesome.
soda that I like, but I don't drink soda. But yeah.
Oh, see, I call it pop. I'm from
Oh
Michigan.
yeah, Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here they call it Coke. I don't.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
That just doesn't make any sense.
everything's Coke.
Everything's Coke.
Yeah. Well, and that's because there's probably cocaine like around it. Somewhere. I'm just kidding.
That does make sense.
What
That
kind of
does
Coke
make
do you want? Sprite.
Yeah, exactly.
Call it pop, huh?
Yeah,
one
and
of
I
those.
get weird looks sometimes because I forget. I've always. It's not a weird thing to me. I've always called it that. So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, "Do you want to pop?" And people are like,
You want a pop? Who essay?
"What are you talking?"
You want some of this? Yeah. What's the thing that when you got here you were like, what in the hell is this? Like,
Well, there's chili and everything.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, that was something to get used to, and I love green chili, thankfully, but
Yeah.
it was something to get used to because it's on everything.
oh yeah.
You can't go to a restaurant and not see it on the menu,
Right.
like even fast food places here, which is
Mhm.
really
It's our
interesting.
ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I had to explain
comes
that.
with green
I was
chili.
telling someone like, yeah, you go to McDonald's, you can get a green chili hamburger, and they were like, really? I was like, oh yeah.
All
Like,
the way up to Raton, and then the second you switch over to Trinidad, not anymore.
Oh.
Nope. It's my favorite. Like little.
you don't get it at all.
So Colorado doesn't love their green chili as much
Oh,
as they claim
yeah,
to.
they say
huh?
they do,
that's
but
weird. They say they do. Liars. Bunch of liar faces. And they like the one that really blows my mind is like cream gravy. Like
Yeah.
you put green chili in cream gravy.
Oh,
hell
it's so
yeah,
good.
it's so good. Like
I
at
know.
Lindy's,
But it's
you
just
get
not.
the cowboy breakfast with the chicken fried steak with the.
It's just not something
I haven't
would've-
had it in a
yeah.
decade, just
Okay.
because I'm like, I think I'll die.
Okay,
if I eat
green
it.
chili sausage
Mhm.
and green chili gravy is like the best.
Do you like it though?
Biscuits
I
and
do.
gravy.
Yeah.
Green chili's good.
Yeah.
Red chili's okay.
So like we had a bunch of people in town visiting last weekend, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna go down after the podcast and we're gonna check out the lowriders. And CJ, who's in the chat, was like, I don't know what you mean by that. And I was like, the
Oh.
lowrider cars. He's like, yeah, I don't understand. And I was like, the cars that like jump up and down. He goes, yeah, but why would we go see them? And I was like,
Because it's Sunday. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Afternoon.
and I was like, these are like literally rolling pieces of art
Mhm.
that that like bounce, and definitely don't go up to them and say, I don't get this.
Oh.
I would not do that. Might not go well.
How have you found Dion's? Have you guys eaten
Yeah.
at Dion's a lot?
Oh yeah,
Yes, I gotta go.
505.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 505 is great too.
Yeah, my dad actually every time he
505
comes
pizza.
to visit, he brings it up.
Oh.
The 505 pizza. He's
Really?
like, we got to get the pizza with the pepperoni and the green chili on it. So that's
Does-
his favorite thing.
How does he feel about the ranch?
The green chili ranch?
any of the
Any of
ranch.
the ranch, yeah.
We usually get the green chili ranch. 'Cause, again, we're from Michigan.
Yeah.
Ranch is. on
Well,
everything.
but I hear you. But like, I have friends that live in DC, and like one of them will come here, and her husband has never been to Albuquerque, and he's like, "Don't forget to bring that ranch back." And it's
Mhm.
the Dion's ranch, and she'll take like 5 bottles of each.
Mhm.
just the regular ranch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a regular
Oh.
ranch. Mhm.
Yeah.
My
We
mom
have to
is
do
the
that.
same way.
We have
yeah.
to be ranch mules to Texas for Kelly's mom.
Interesting.
Yeah. Although she could go to Lubbock, I guess. But.
There's a Dion's in Lubbock and there's a Dion's. in-
Well, that's pretty
Pretty
far,
far.
though. That's
from
like,
Houston, yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's
a long-
only 7
It's
and
the
a half
halfway
hours.
point.
oh, I thought. Wait a minute, I thought it was longer than that.
It's the halfway point. That's really what we consider the halfway
Oh,
point.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
Lubbock would be farther. I thought it was like 15.
No.
No, because it's like from
The whole drive is 13.
from Clovis to Jackson, Mississippi is about 15.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
my parents lived like right there for a while. It's a weird world, but Michigan, huh? So then you filmed. The first thing you did was the Waco. Did they film that here?
That was in
Yeah.
Santa Fe.
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm. It was kind of all around. We also filmed around Las Vegas.
Who played David
New
Koresh
Mexico.
in that?
Um,
That wasn't the Taylor Kitsch one.
no,
right?
no. He was in. This was technically a sequel to the one that Taylor was in.
Yeah.
But they had a younger actor play.
I'm sorry. How on earth did they have a sequel to the Waco thing?
Well, it's about
They didn't burn up.
Yeah,
it's the trial.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
It's about the trial process of the people that survived. So I was only in flashback scenes.
I was just thinking like
Too
Hamlet.
Waco, too furious.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like Hamlet 2. They're like, how are we making a Hamlet 2? They all
No,
died.
it would be
Also
Hamlet.
made here in New Mexico, Hamlet
Right.
too, though.
That would be
Right.
called
West
Hamlet
Mesa.
to be or not to be.
Right. Well, no, there's a movie Hamlet 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, you wrote Hamlet 2? They all died. Like, but like Waco, they're like, yeah, it's a sequel to the Waco story. Like, what?
It's mostly about Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. maybe he didn't die
Chip
in
and
that fire.
Joanna Cain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, David Koresh drives up in a big like Dodge
Beep,
Charger.
beep. Yeah.
Get
in.
family.
Yeah.
Like drinking a Corona. That'd be awesome. So what else have you done here?
Well, so Waco wasn't my very first thing. Before that, I booked like a small commercial for a Wi-Fi company.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Oh.
a TikTok dancer.
Oh, nice.
Everyone on set just assumed I was an actual TikToker. And I was
wow.
like, no, I memorized a dance and auditioned with it and got really lucky. And then I did a lot of background work, actually.
She's like, you're watching like Fortnite, watching all the dances.
Pretty much
Backpack
just
kid.
copied it like
Mhm.
move for move. But we did when we first got here, me and my fiance both did a lot of background work.
Okay.
We did Roswell, New Mexico a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like waiters on that. We were salsa dancers. We were hired
Yeah.
to be salsa dancers, and we were told we didn't have to be professional dancers.
And then you got there and they're like,
And they expected us to be professional dancers.
5, 6, 7, 8.
They were no joke. They were like, "Okay, can you do some tricks?" And
Oh
we were
my
like,
gosh.
we don't know any tricks.
yeah,
but we
you pull out
made it.
the cards. They're like, all right.
You do that like swing dance move where you like move in and move out.
They were asking us to do some spins, and we're not dancers.
Oh man.
It was we memorized the basic steps.
And Smiley's over there on the side. He's like, I wanted this role and I can dance.
Oh no. I mean, I do recall that, but I'm not going to go all the way out to Roswell.
Oh, they didn't film
It
it.
wasn't in Roswell. It
they
was
didn't
in
fuck-
LA.
All right.
I know it wasn't in
They didn't film that.
No one
First of all,
filmed that in Roswell
Is this
because
is this the original series? Or, no, it's the new
No,
one.
come
that was the
on.
new one. It's the new one.
Because the original one's like old, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that was in.
Yeah, if she wasn't alive during
2000.
Waco, she was not ready to be a salsa
That
dancer.
was the one with
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl.
Yeah.
Was the original, which
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say this because I'm in it, but I preferred the original.
Yeah,
it's
good.
It's more
Good.
campy. This one
Mhm.
was a little
well,
too serious.
all right, but I just have an issue with the original. Like everybody's like, and then they ran into the forest.
No forest.
Have you been to Roswell, New Mexico? There is no motherfucking trees. I'm from Eastern New Mexico, and people are like, yeah, they ran into the tree. They were down there by the lake, and I'm like, no, they were
Nothing
not.
out there.
That's not. What the fuck is this? Like,
Okay, but maybe it was a mirage.
we were so angry when that show came
Because
out.
of the aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe.
hallucinating.
I was at the 50th anniversary of the Roswell landing.
Oh yeah.
I met Paul Rodriguez there.
They were giving out free autopsies. And,
Yes.
Like, you know.
Well, everybody thought Demi Moore was going to be there. Everyone thought that Will Smith was going to be there because there was like, rumors. Because Demi Moore is from Roswell.
Oh,
And Demi Lovato was also.
yeah.
All the Demis.
Right.
Demi.
It's a real Demi kind of town.
Yeah.
But so you run the second one.
Yes.
That's kind of. I haven't watched any of those because like I started watching the first one and I was like, what? And I saw trees and I went, nope, done with this.
It's very different than because I watched the original show. Also, when we moved here, we just watched everything that filmed here or sort of filmed here was
So
about
smart.
New
That's so
Mexico.
smart.
And
Okay, what was the show that came out right around Breaking Bad time? Also,
Cold
filmed,
Case.
no, and it
In
was
Plain Sight.
that one.
That's the one.
I just remember like that lady, like the Breaking Bad people were smart. If they didn't like it here, they didn't never say it.
hmm
She didn't like it here, and she said it. You remember that?
Because of how In Plain Sight was here in New Mexico, I have never watched an episode of Breaking Bad. Like I was like, whatever gets made here, I'm sure they're all snotty people from out of
Yeah.
town that don't like us, and so I missed everything Breaking Bad. And so sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
like in out of town, like performing, and people are like, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. I'm like, yep, no, yeah.
You never watched it at all?
I
No.
can't believe that you haven't.
Not a
Wow.
single episode of either one,
You
but I
have to.
yeah, and then now I'm just doing it as a
Well, so
dumb
she.
hipster, but I should do
What
it.
was
for
her
real.
name? What was the lady's name that did that? In Plain Sight.
Mrs. Plain Sight.
No.
Sarah Plain and Sight.
So she fucked like she was. I don't know what her thing was, but she like went on like Kim, like one of the late night shows, and they asked her about Albuquerque, and she was like,
So many of them do that. Jessica Alba did that.
Yep.
What you would
Tina
think.
Fey did that. Like there was really like, and nobody
Oh,
talks
really?
nice about Albuquerque except
And-
for
Vince Gilligan.
yeah,
Oh, he-
and, like
he loves it. Yeah.
mhm.
Well, then who was the other one? Seth MacFarlane did not like it either.
I think everybody who was on that production like did not like it, and it was
Yeah.
like, come on.
So the lady who did the In Plain Sight, I can't think of her name. She comes back because they're filming again, and it's like you want to shit on a city, that's fine, but if you have to come back there, and especially this one,
Mhm.
people are not very nice. And she's on the radio one day, and I'm driving, and they're like asking her about it, and she's like, you know what? She's like, I was just really tired, la 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 la. And she's talking about it. Then she did the dumbest thing I could have ever imagined. She goes, I live here. I have a house here. My kids go to school at blank instead where they went to school.
No.
And I was like, are you stupid? I was like, you're clearly stupid. Because I would never in a million years let people know where my kids go to school after I said that I hated the city that they live in.
That mistake was in plain sight.
Yeah.
I
like that.
but I'll be honest with you, everything that you are saying on this podcast right
Yeah.
now is like a masterclass of what actors who move to Albuquerque should be doing. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
you should be watching everything that is in production here. You should be looking up all the industry that is here. You should get all of your like affairs in order to meet those people when you get to meet those people.
You
Like
should
just
throw a
like
roller
preparation.
skate through the
through a
agent's
window, obviously, yes, duh. So like you've just done everything so right.
Right.
It's so great.
So
When I started, that was how I started. I was like,
Mhm.
who actually does the freaking casting here? And I would
Mhm.
watch it, and I'd
Mhm.
yell,
Mhm.
I'm gonna find them.
Smart.
that is pretty smart.
Smart.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Um,
Add them on Facebook or Instagram.
the
or-
episode that you had a couple episodes
Yeah.
with Carissa, and she was just talking about like my job is getting people booked because I only get paid if they get booked,
Mhm.
and like
Right.
that kind of like everything that she was dropping was super knowledge bombs. And so like if you're out there right now, if you are the 2 people who are watching the stream or the zillion of people who are going to listen to this after it's already recorded, like listen to these things, watch
Right.
these interviews, because if
Yes.
it is the closest thing that you can get to a career path in this
For
industry.
free
Mhm.
advice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
listen.
People charge for this information.
Yes.
Yes.
I know that because I've paid for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen to my mistakes. Listen to her perfect, like going right into it,
Yeah.
like
Right.
knowing everything
You rolled a
already.
perfect game.
Well, see,
Yeah.
and like I will tell people, like, because people will walk up and ask me questions. Like I'll be at the pro wrestling and like getting a beer between the intermission or whatever, and people are like I literally had a guy walk up to me and he's like, hey man, I love this. And I was like, cool. And he's like, how did you get here? And at first I was like, well, I walked from my. And he's like, no. How did you get to this level? And I literally looked at him. I said 2 words: hard work,
Mhm.
networking.
That's 3 words.
Whatever. 2 things. I said 2 things. Whatever. 2 things: hard work, networking.
Networking is huge.
That is such
Yeah.
a trope in comedy, is that like everybody, if you get anything, everybody just comes up to you like, and they feel so
Mhm.
emboldened to be like, how'd you get that?
Yeah.
How'd you get that? How'd you get that? And you're like, I know you
Gross.
want it too, but like you could
Right.
like just say like, congratulations, man, or like
Right.
something,
Mhm.
and just to be like, how'd you get that?
The thing that blew my mind about comedians is like, and this is a thing for people like if your friend's a comedian, you go out to see them perform, talk to them after the show.
Mhm.
Like don't go up right before they're about to go on and be like, hey, how's your mom doing? Like that's a
That's a toughie.
that's a toughie. So and comedians know that. So when I was at an open mic one night and Roy Wood Jr. popped in,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was a fun night.
and I sat there and watched over and over and over again comedians beeline for him and start talking to him, and he would just literally turn, walk away, and go over to another area of the
Mhm.
bar because he was like going through his stuff he was about to go on stage to do, and they would just keep coming up, and I'm like,
Cut it out.
and then he finally sat next to me,
Mhm.
and I didn't say anything to him, and then he finally went up and he did his stuff. He comes back over and he's like, and he starts talking to me, and I was like, cool. And I was like, what are you here for? And he's like, oh, I'm talking to Netflix. I'm like, cool. And like I got to probably talk to him more than anybody because all these people like, I'm like, you don't like when people talk to you before?
No,
Fuck no. So
they don't like it when people talk to them after.
but it was one of but it was one of those things where it's like you're like, I get it. You're trying to like, hopefully he'll see you and you'll go out on the road with him. You know,
Mhm.
that's what everybody, but
Writers just don't like when you talk to them at all.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are very
I know I see
solitary.
Kelly and I walk over and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? She's like,
I'm a weirdo. I'm an extrovert, but I
teasing.
feel like novelist. I'm a novelist. So if you're like writing in your house, novelists tend to be a little introvert babies,
Reclusive.
Okay.
talented introvert babies. But yeah, and New Mexico has like a ton of incredible writers. I mean, yes, George R. R. Martin, but then also like Melinda Snodgrass, Arkady Martine, like Ramona Emerson, like so many killers. And yeah, we don't ever talk to each other because we're like,
I don't think George R. R. Martin writes anything, does he?
well, he has written.
I know.
Screenplays, right? That's all he's doing right now.
I don't even think he writes
He's
those. He just
New
kinda-
Mexican's living Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory bear. Just sits outside of stores and goes, hello.
I think he said that they denied his castle request.
Yeah.
He's just like a little heartbroken, you know?
He was trying to
Wait.
buy a castle in Santa Fe, and then the HOA in his neighborhood was like, you can't do that.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to build a castle. And they were like, no.
So I've seen his house,
Sure.
right? Because I was in a lift in Santa Fe, and the guy was driving us, and he was like, "You guys want to see where George R. R. Martin lives?" And I was like, "I guess so." And so we're driving, and he like turns on the street, and I mean it was like an 800 square foot little like house, and he's like, "There it is," and I was like, I don't think so. And
You
then,
could have said that about any house.
so then I see the car in the driveway, and it is a 1970s Datsun 240Z,
Hell yeah.
and it had the license plate GRRM, and in his mailbox was a castle. And I was like, all right, it's probably his house. It's probably him.
That's great.
'Cause I was like, okay, but I was kind of like, and then I was kind of like, that's cool. He doesn't give a shit about like like living in a big mansion or something, or maybe that's a mansion in Santa Fe. I don't know.
He's actually really nice.
Yeah.
He's very nice.
I've never. Everybody's like, "Have you ever met him?" I'm like, no, I've never even seen him in like anywhere.
Sometimes I'll walk by him. It will be at like literary events in Santa Fe, and I'll walk by him and I'll be like, oh my God, he's real. He's like alive. I think he's alive man. I'm going to like poke him with the stick because he's like, oh, he's alive. He's a real man.
You're all, episode 8 sucks.
Yeah, no,
Season 8 sucks."
I would-
I'm just kidding. I'm
No,
just kidding.
he's great.
He has nothing to do with that season.
I
so-
know. I know.
A lot of my writer friends here work at his bookstore in Santa Fe.
Oh.
Which is a great
Yeah.
bookstore.
And then I'll help them out with random things sometimes.
Okay.
So.
That's cool.
He's fantastic. Okay, I've got other questions for you. If
Yeah.
you're up for it.
yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
So, okay, you've booked so many things. Is there anything that you were up for that you were like, man, I really wish I got that? That was like that you didn't get, or anything that you were
Well,
like,
It's like
there's been tons of
yeah.
Well,
those
sure, of
in
course,
general
yeah.
where it's
Mhm.
I get the audition and this could be life changing. This could be something at least like resume changing, where it's something very big. Maybe it won't boost my career as much as I would want to, but something that'd be good. I did have one time where I was this close to booking a really awesome role in a really awesome movie. It's so frustrating because my fiance works in production.
Yeah.
So he works behind the scenes in offices and stuff, and he was working on the same show that I had this audition process and callbacks for, and he saw the emails pretty much saying that I got the role,
Oh no.
saying like I was sent up for the role, and it was this executive producer that was like, no. So I was this close to a really awesome role, and the role wasn't anything crazy, but it was a really high budget big movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had but the worst part too is afterwards I had so many people like apologizing to me, like the director, casting director, my agent were all like, I'm so sorry.
And
You
that
almost
show,
got it."
and that show was
no,
Friends.
Friends.
But okay, you know what that actually
Again,
means?
she wasn't alive during Waco, so why would she know Friends?
You know,
No, we have a time machine. We'll send you back.
you know what that means is that like you're doing everything right, and so just keep going.
Yeah,
You know?
there's so many factors.
Yeah.
People don't realize that too. You really never know. What's unfortunate, you never really know how close you got to a role most of the
Yeah.
time. You very rarely get that sort of inside information.
Mhm.
So I'm sure there's plenty of times too where I maybe was in the top 10 or top 5 or something and just never knew about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's easier, I will say.
Sure.
That's way easier because for all I know, I was never even really in
So
consideration.
has this
Mhm.
role come out? Has the
It's coming soon.
Oh,
but
okay.
No, it's not.
Don't start making people guess. Like, don't do that.
Well,
Who needs to?
I don't even want to say too much.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, it's
about
okay.
it,
You're
but
being
my-
very professional and
my
good.
fiance is in it.
Oh,
yay.
Oh my
He was
god!
working in production and they threw him in a small role, so he's
Oh.
gonna be in it.
Yeah, so okay,
It's
so
always how it works.
I did a panel for Star Wars a couple years ago, and like speaking of that, and like it was like Tate Fletcher, who's one of Chris's clients, and then it was like the guy who is currently Darth Vader, not like, and everybody's like, oh, well, what's his name? And I was
Hayden?
like, yeah. I'm like, no, the actual guy that's in the suit.
Oh, in the suit.
And he's like 6'7", and he was a ballerina.
Sure.
And like, it was funny.
Which is crazy considering his breathing problems.
Yeah. Well, it's funny though, because we're getting ready to go out on stage, and I look in the little like side room to the green room, and he's like doing these like getting limbered up exercise, and I'm like, we're gonna go talk. I don't know if this guy knows that, but like, so anyway, there's also this woman, and she was from Revenge of the Sith, right? She was one of the
She played the Sith.
she was one of the she was one of the Jedi that gets killed in Order 66, right?
She's the baby.
She was the Twi'lek that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're all talking to him, and I'm like, like, did you audition for the role? And she goes, no, I was a production assistant.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, what?
Mhm.
Like I was just working, and they were like, and George Lucas was like, you know what? We need one more Jedi. And he's like, go put her in a costume. And then now,
get her a robe.
and now she's in Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
That's a pretty good, like, I got one acting credit.
Mm-hmm.
It's this one.
And
Oh,
shit.
And then, like, nerds for the rest of your life are going to, like, go to get autographed pictures of you at, like, Comic-Cons.
You're all, I moved on to accounting. Leave me alone.
Right now. Yeah. Now I'm with transportation.
I was
Do
just
you
a
know-
PA.
Do you know that Eliza Dushku from
Oh, man. From
Everything,
Buffy
yeah.
And
Yeah.
is like a therapist now?
she
Yes.
doesn't do any acting anymore.
I think I
know.
would pass out. I would just
You're like-
I'd be like, I can't talk to you. I
this
have to
is the
go.
therapist that takes my insurance, and you just show up, and you're like, what?
She's all so. Who did you look up to when you were a kid? Well,
Yeah.
You?
She'd be like, let's get vulnerable. I'd be like, no.
No,
nope.
I don't think I can. Eliza Dushku.
Uh.
she's so fun.
And Roger's like, is anyone bragging about being in? Yeah, you know why, Roger, you're saying that because you're old like me. The people who love the episode 1 through 3 are people that were kids during that time. They love it. They love
The
those movies.
prequels?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They love
no, it's been like kind of
Yeah.
justified now.
Oh, sure.
I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's those kids that grew up. I mean, all of us that are like old nerds are like, this is shit, and the kids were like, no, this is this was our Star
Pod
Wars.
racing is so.
Yeah. Right. So, like, when you got into movies, like, what was some things that you were like, other than like you were like, I want to be in movies like this,
What do you mean?
Like growing up,
specific
like-
type,
yeah,
like genres?
or anything? Like, what's your favorite stuff? Like, what do you?
Like personally, as just a person who enjoys watching movies, I really
Yeah.
like thrillers.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite genre. I don't care how cheesy they can be. I love something with like a weird twist at the
Yeah.
end. I like some spooky stuff going on. I am a wimp though. Like I will
Mhm.
close my eyes in the theater if it's too scary, but I
Yeah.
like thrillers and horror, all that stuff. So that's my favorite genre. And the very, very first thing we worked on when we moved here, we actually did background on a very low budget horror film.
Woo.
It's called Captive. It's on
Okay.
Tubi.
Ooh.
And we actually got hired as production assistants while we were doing background.
Yeah.
So we did both. You can see us in the party scenes. I'm a dead body. He's a dead body. And then we were like, between shots, then we'd get our walkies
Spoilers.
on and we were like, first team. So we were
Wow.
doing both at the same time. So it was really cool that our very first movie was also a horror movie. Sort of. It's about vampires. So I guess
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
we've learned today is if you're getting into acting, you're going to be a dead body.
you're going to be a
Okay.
dead body. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
you can
gonna
learn a
be
lot.
dead body.
Yeah. It's like, and it's like, I saw you in that movie. I didn't think you were dead. Bullshit, man. It's bullshit.
I know her in real life. She's alive.
So, what's your favorite horror movie?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, okay, like
Or thriller.
Recent.
Well,
Yes.
Recent?
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite movies in general is Scream.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Like
Aren't
that's
they-
just one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mhm.
Is there? Oh no, it's the scary movies that are coming. The new scary.
There's gonna
movies.
be a new. Well, they've started making
A new Scream,
Screams
too.
also.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Didn't what's his name die? Like the director?
No, Wes
Oh.
Craven?
Wes Craven is
Oh, John Carpenter.
dead?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
dead?
he
Oh,
died.
wow.
Yeah.
He's dead.
And
But they're never dead for long.
John Carpenter didn't die.
John Carpenter.
I was trying to remember. I was like, is it Wes Craven or John Carpenter? that
No,
died?
it's Wes Craven.
Wes
Yeah.
Craven died just a couple of years ago, not that
Mhm.
long
Yeah.
ago. Because it was in the middle of they made a Scream TV show, which was actually pretty good.
Cool.
Did they really?
Yeah, on
Yeah,
MTV.
That was actually surprising. It's for an MTV show also.
Uh-huh.
It was surprisingly good, and I think
Hmm.
he died during production.
Is it on streaming? Because they'd be like, now screaming.
Now screaming.
Yeah.
I used to own the screenplay to Scream, and I would read. It was one of my favorite
Okay.
It's just a great screenplay. Like
Yeah.
the writing of it was so
Tight.
cool.
Mhm.
It's so on the
And,
nose.
yeah, and Kevin Williamson, like who wrote it, and then gave it to us. It was like just he really like embodied his approach to writing, and then he went on to do Dawson's Creek, which I also really loved.
I
And,
just started watching that.
oh,
That's
it's
my
so
cooking show
good.
right
Yeah,
now.
Yay.
it's a good one.
Oh, nice. Are you guys going to go to the Guild on Thursday?
For Screamfest.
No, there's a
Matter of
film.
fact,
There's a
okay,
film
that's
that's they're showing this film,
Mhm.
and one of the actors in it is going to be there, and it is a.
It's The Room.
Yep.
Sorry.
I was gonna say it's a master
Ah.
class on film. The Room with Greg
Oh.
Sestero.
I love when Greg comes to showings because he
Yeah.
makes it so fun for everybody.
Yeah.
And The
Oh,
Room
yeah.
is such a.
Have you ever seen it?
I have seen. I haven't been to a live screen.
Mhm.
My,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I watched it with my friends. And, like the thing that would weird me out is if somebody was like, "Yeah, I watched The Room by myself." I'd be like, "Ugh,
No.
why? Why would you do that? Like, you're weird."
Someone told me to watch The Room. That's how you watch things. You
Mhm.
I have time right now, so I watched it by
Yeah.
You
myself.
have
Yeah.
to see it
Yeah.
with people. Kelly took me to my first like Room live
Yeah.
experience, and it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. It was
I,
so fun.
I didn't watch it live for a long time. I would watch it with friends drinking because
Yeah.
that's what you do. And then I saw it live, and I was like, I was like not excited because I'd seen it so many times. And then afterwards, I was like, "Oh, this is what you have to do." It's like
Mhm.
the new Rocky Horror, like throw spoons at the screen, and
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's
oh,
my
fuck it.
favorite.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
when we went, they also showed like some of his like short, like
Oh.
when he had his YouTube show that was weirdly like selling underwear.
Oh gosh.
We watched one of those before the movie, and everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Boo!" like the whole
Yeah.
time.
Oh, so the last time Greg Sestero showed his like new horror film
Oh, that's fun.
before, and my ex at the I'm not ex now, but like at the time we were dating, they showed that first, and she was like, because she had never seen The Room,
Oh,
and we watched that and his that movie, and she was like, well, that was awful, and I was like, well,
just you wait.
and I was like, but it wasn't like good awful.
Mm-mm.
It was it was low budget, like, and I was like, well,
Amelia Perez.
I promised the
Oh,
next
yes.
one to go like, yeah. And then she watched the other, and like he walked in, and I was like, "There's Greg Sestero," and she's like, "I don't know why you're excited about that."
He's a football star. You'll see.
That's Mark. That's Mark. That's Mark. And finally, like after the movie, she was like, "Okay, that was awesome," and I was like, "Yes, right? How awfully bad that was, And so so it's Thursday, and my coworker is a huge fan. He's never seen it like live. in the
Oh
theater, or
yeah,
in the
you
theater.
gotta.
It's so
And
cool.
so I'm trying to
see
make
live.
him go.
Mhm.
And he's like, "It's a Thursday night, man." I'm like, "It's at 7:00. It's not like it goes to
That
like
does seem
1
like
a.m.
fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
The Guild is awesome. I love
Yeah.
the Guild.
So excited about that. So we're gonna take a break here. So do you have any like thing that's coming out that you can talk about that you want people to see?
I
Or
can
something
say
you
a
wanna tell
tiny
people-
bit.
yeah.
No, there is something I want to like just mention, like name drop, but I can't give details unfortunately until the official press release is out.
Ah.
But I am in a movie coming out.
Yeah.
Coming soon called The Eighth Day.
Ooh.
They just made social media pages for it, or you can follow me on social media to get more information when that's actually released. But The Eighth Day coming
Oh.
soon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool. And is there anything else like you want people to go check out that you may have on like streaming or
Waco the Aftermath.
Hell yeah.
Is I don't think it's streaming. I think it's available for purchase on most streaming sites.
throw some money? She gets
Yeah.
like $100
get, like,
every time.
I get
each
like a
day.
penny every time
Yeah.
someone watches the whole
It
season.
came out.
Heck
Mhm.
yeah.
It came out on Showtime. I played a juror in it. So yeah.
Ah, yeah.
So yes, it's on Showtime. You can
And-
totally
and
watch.
Smiley was
Waco.
all nope.
He's guilty.
Definitely watch Waco Aftermath.
Yeah.
Just for the fun times of being or that.
The after. Okay, I remember kind of who's like the big stars in it. Like
J. Smith Cameron,
Yeah.
Okay.
big star. She's in Succession. She
Yeah.
played. So Waco the Aftermath. It's mostly a sequel, but it's partially
Yeah.
a prequel
Hmm.
also.
Where
they
the prequel parts.
I'm in the prequel flashback scenes where they show way before the actual events of Waco happened, like how
Yeah.
David Koresh came to be as a person and kind of like a cult leader.
Yeah.
How
Interesting.
how he rose to power is what they also show, and she is someone within that realm of
That's
the
cool.
show.
I need to watch those because there was the one with Taylor Kitsch, and then
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this is related to that show. He's just not in it because his
And the whole time I'm just gonna be all, "What's Riggins doing? Come on, man!"
Yeah.
They're rebooting that, by the way. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
Friday
Yeah,
Night Lights.
Yeah, I love that.
Mhm.
It's gonna take place in like Louisiana, I think.
Sure.
And I was like,
Won't
or
be as
Houston.
good.
I think maybe Houston.
I was going to say it better be Texas football.
Yeah, it has to be.
Anything else you want to plug? We're going to go into the wavy hour, which you can stay if you can go, but that's where we have a lot of fun. So you guys have anything to promote?
Yeah, man. Do I have so many things to promote?
Yeah.
Dude, you should go to Houston,
Trip?
Texas,
yeah?
and
Go to
you
the
should
Meow Wolf?
check out the Meow Wolf that's there because I'm a character in that.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
She has her own room.
I have my own room.
It's
My
really
character
cool.
has a room, and it's got pictures of me with a girlfriend that's not Kelly. It's wild. And then
Whoa.
they casted a girlfriend,
That's
and then but then also this week at Dry Heat we have Trip Stelnecki headlining, and he was just
Nice.
voted
Incredible.
Albuquerque's best local comedian in Albuquerque the magazine, and so like he's going to show up, and
That dude's awesome.
yeah, he's so fantastic. So
Mhm.
we're thrilled to get to have him there this weekend. And then the very next day we have Buck D doing his own headlining set too, and so we get the opportunity to have two crazy good local headliners.
Super different styles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so-
That's pretty cool.
Check those out.
And then I guess I'm rebooting my writing Substack next 2 weeks from now. It's called 52 Stories. So I write a new short story every single week. So if you want a new short story, a lot of them are based or like set in the bars around here. So
52
Ooh.
Stories of Grey. Is that right?
yeah. The next one I think I'm putting out is about Launchpad, and it's the Coven of Vampires. So it should be fun.
Of course
Yeah.
it is.
And then otherwise, yeah, come to Trip's thing. That's gonna be awesome on the 31st.
That's cool.
And then on the 13th,
Oh yeah,
a Thursday,
It's a Thursday right
we
before
have-
Valentine's Day.
Adrienne Chelapa, coming. She's been on
Rutherford Falls, Res Dogs.
Oh, okay.
Spirit Guides in Netflix.
Yeah, she has got a million. She's so famous and so cool that we have her here in New Mexico.
Yeah, she's an incredible,
nice.
incredible actor, incredible comedian. She's fabulous.
And so she's going to be doing her headlining set with Angeli, who's another amazing comedian.
Out of Farmington.
Yeah.
That's cool. So,
And I think Sarah's hosting. So.
oh.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
And then there's like this birthday party thing I'm
I
going
know.
Yeah,
Let-
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
don't be stomping on mine.
to.
So a week from Monday, I turned 50 years old. 50 years young. Lots of reflection. So on February 8th, we're having a party at the Launchpad. There will be red light cameras,
Damn.
Youngsville,
Damn.
Simo, and the
What?
Lovers, and DJ Ren.
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
And never announced on this show, but they're Youngsville
Mhm.
will be doing the 10 drink minimum theme.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Live.
cool.
They had to relearn it.
Oh, sure.
And then this is also being announced tonight, April 11th through the 13th. I will be at El Paso Comic-Con.
Mhm.
I will be hosting all of the panels.
Whoa. That's great. Congratulations.
I will be
What?
I will be Mingless
Oh,
in El Paso. I think that's a movie.
mingless.
Mingling enough.
It's still mingling.
The promoters reached out to me today and asked if I would come down and I would host all the panels.
Dang.
cool.
Yeah.
Are there any
And,
announced like headliners and stuff? Or do you
Yep.
know who's going to be? Can you say?
Sean Gunn.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
That's the big one. I
Is he bringing his brother?
I would love that.
That's
But so I'll be hanging out in the green room. I'll
Is
be
he gonna scream like a weasel for us?
right. Oh, I'll be like, so Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I was going to say, please only ask questions about Gilmore Girls.
What was your favorite job that they gave you on Gilmore Girls? And I was going to ask Smiley if you wanted to go with me.
Send me the yeah, I would
All
love
right.
to. I would love
Cool.
to. Send me the dates.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else that's going on, but no. Oh, I will be on the Badass Cult podcast.
I love that promo.
We recorded it on Thursday, and I will tell some stories about that and introduce something new to the show or to the studio in the next hour. So I'm going to promote that. So I want to thank Sarah and Kelly for being here. I want to thank Smiley for coming in, even if he still feels not well.
No, I'm doing great now.
And then keep an eye out for future star Alexis Berent.
Yeah.
And with that,
We are 10 drink minimum.
I sold my soul to the bottle. Still none of my friends have left me yet. I'm the same man I was since the age of 13, and I've lived my life with no regret. If you're looking for some freedom, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum. If you're looking for rhyme or reason, all it takes is 10 drinks minimum.
Oh gosh, we're back.
Is there more to that song? It's a full song, right?
Yeah, I actually cut it
Oh yeah.
to fit in the intro. Yeah, that's the Carlos the Tall Youngsville. They're going to be doing that on my birthday, February 8th, at the Launchpad. It's open to the public, $10 entry fee.
It's only a $10 minimum.
Fucking A. That is Sarah Kennedy. That's Kelly Trapnell. And we have with us, that's weird. Maybe not.
It's facing you.
It's, yeah. This camera, like, it's like, I don't see a face. I think it'll like find one, but apparently it does not. It's like you.
It says,
But we have actor Alexis
I don't
Berent.
see your face. I can't forget the time or place.
There we go.
Hi.
Hello.
As everybody gets sick as they go around. But yeah, it's a $10 fee to get in. Man, it has been a whirlwind of a week for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because it started out and we have Smiley here. Sorry, Smiley, I forgot about you.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Devil
that's-
Smiley.
I'm pretty sure everyone knew I was already here.
Yeah, with Carlos the cow. It all started with Comic-Con. Like this week has been almost insane. So like, we talked about this on last week's episode where I was like, I'm just going to do one panel, and I ended up doing the most, and I ended up doing some very high profile things, and it just has snowballed all week, right?
Damn.
So like, I had already booked doing another podcast. We have a shot of Malort here because Sarah requested it. Everyone's doing it except for Alexa.
That's okay. She's
That's
allowed.
good.
You're
That's
allowed to
fine.
say no.
Okay.
You get to just like watch us react to it.
That's just Chicago
That's the
Dry
fun part.
January.
Mhm. Yes,
I
exactly.
have tried Malort.
Yeah.
Well, then,
I know
yeah.
the torture it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
If you've had it.
Chicago Dry January is like, I still drink, but not Malort.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a Chicago sober, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna put the camera on Smiley, and we're gonna say we're gonna do a cheers
Sure.
to Alexis's career
Yeah,
and
hell
to
yeah.
my birthday coming up. So
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah.
Cheers.
1, 2, 3, cheers.
Cheers.
Man, I know we told the story last time we were on the podcast, but when we showed up for our anniversary to Founders, and Brandon was like, "Let me get you guys a shot," which he purchased himself legally, and then he served it to us, and we were like, "Thank you so much," and we slammed it, and it was like, "Oh, Malort,
Malort.
thanks, man, thank you so much." For-
That was our fault. We brought it. We brought it to him. That was our gift to him. We brought it.
He was.
So I had already planned doing this podcast called the Badass Cult Podcast, and the weird thing is, I've been doing this. I've been doing this almost 19 years, right? I don't get asked to do a lot of other people's podcasts. I've never done Sarah's. Never once. Never one time.
Listen, give me a second to get over this Malort
You
shot. And then
chose it. You.
I know. I
requested
asked
it.
for this.
Yeah.
I
So anyway, I go on this podcast, right? And they're like, yeah, here's where we live. You come and we'll feed you, and and I'm like, cool. And so I go. And I had the best time, right? It's Matt Culpepper was on the show, Brother Barnaby, and then Cammie. They had me in there, and then we did like a 3-hour show. It's amazing,
Sure.
right? I really enjoyed myself, and I had no issue being a guest because sometimes I've had issues being a guest on people's shows because like I want to just take it over. But they wrote a haiku for me, so there's a special haiku on there, and then they also did this, and I have to get this ready. Because this is very special.
I've never
Oh,
seen
it's
this.
so good.
Yeah, they
it's
made
so good.
this, which is
Oh.
a puppet version of me.
Ah,
And I'm in my Kill Bill because I have the Kill Bill outfit or the Bruce Lee outfit. It has a little wrestling belt on it. And they used it for the promo. They had me call them and leave a voicemail. And then they were like, it's like, this is Chris and I'm all the best. And I was like, So this exists in the world now.
It's so realistic.
Right.
So good.
And I knew they were like, because we were talking about Jim Henson, and they're like, funny you bring up puppets. And I was like, what is there a puppet of me here? And they were like, and they pulled it out. I was like, all right.
I love that you have one eye much larger than the other.
Well, that's how I am. And I squint one eye a lot. So that exists in the world. I want to thank them. And that show, I don't know when that comes out, but it's coming out soon.
We got to have you on the puppet roast battle then to come through and be a judge.
I better win.
No,
Oh.
you're
You're a
a
judge.
referee.
Yeah,
I'll
because if
judge.
you lose, it gets shredded. So we
No,
never do that. Yeah.
no, yeah.
The competitors have to be Fandango style
Yeah.
Paper bags, yeah. We had it last night, and it was
Incredible.
I know. I saw that, and I
Man.
was like, shit, I need to go with it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
it was
So-
really, really funny.
So then that was Thursday, and then I go out Friday night to Adobe Disco, and like so many people are like, "Oh my God, it's you!" and "Can I buy you a drink?" and I'm like, "Well, this is getting weird. Like, what the fuck?" You know, like, yeah, all right, cool. You know, and like one guy sat and he bought me a beer, and then he was like, "I'll buy you another one." And I was like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "You're gonna turn down a gift?" And I was like, well, you know, I don't want to, I don't want to throw up outside, you know.
Mhm.
But there was kind of an overwhelming response in that. So then yesterday, like Candace is like, "We're gonna go to Soch tonight. It's a drag show, and Alma's gonna be there."
Mhm.
And at first I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then I ate a chicken pot pie,
Mm-hmm.
and my stomach was like, bloaty. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And one of my friends is like,
Good
no,
story.
no, we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Well, I'm telling you.
I know. I was bloaty.
So we go, right? And like we get there, and I don't know how this works now. Like you don't have to be a member anymore. You have to like sign up
At the Soch?
you do, but
You
like
do. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember, but it's like they've got kind of
You
like
have-
Costco where you can be a bona fide guest.
Yes.
yeah, and then they're gonna start doing a membership like subscription now.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
is good, honestly.
Oh no, it's smart. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then like we get in and like we do general admission, and I see there's like tables.
Mhm.
And like I'm like, I don't know if I want to stand this whole time. I'm like, I wonder if all the tables are taken.
Mhm.
So I go back over and I asked the lady, I was like, so are all the tables paid for? She goes, we have one
Whoop.
that's not. She goes,
Specifically for bloaty.
yeah. She's like, did you have a chicken pot pie made
This
with
is
cauliflower? And I was like, I
You got
did.
the VIP bloaty boy table.
Totally. And I was like, oh, okay. And she goes, well, you already paid for 3 general admissions, so if you pay like $30, you can have it.
Damn.
And I'm like,
Nice.
done. She goes, but it's in the front.
Oh,
And
that's
I go,
okay.
And I go, I don't,
Uh-huh.
you know me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck
Mhm.
about the front.
And you've done
So-
Alma stuff so much that it's like
Right.
great.
So great, like fine.
Mhm.
So then, like all the performers are going, and like it's ran by Vanessa Patrick. So
Mhm.
Vanessa's been on this
Fabulous.
Love
this
it.
show,
Mhm.
and like I kind of feel like if you like have an amalgam of what a drag queen looks like, Vanessa's kind of like
Yeah.
that big hair and all that, and like just amazing performer, like funny,
Mhm.
and
She is like
Sharp.
a quintessential drag queen.
Mhm.
yeah, and she
Mhm.
goes around and she's like, her crowd work is pretty off the charts, right?
Mhm.
And she's like going around and she's like talking to all these different like like local like famous like gay like people that some of them are drag queens that are
Hey,
like,
Neil
Yes.
Patrick Harris,
Yeah.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
yes,
Yes.
no,
Mhm.
no, and then like they
I
didn't,
believe you're referring to the A gays of
Mhm.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
The ABQ gays.
yes,
Obviously, we weren't there, but
because I didn't know them, but they were people were like cheering them, and so and some of them were like, don't talk to me. I'm like not in
Yeah.
I'm not in character, and all that. And so then like they do a break, and then they come back, and Vanessa comes out, and she's like, just want to let you guys know we have a celebrity in the crowd,
Damn.
and she goes, can we get a spotlight on him right over here? And they spotlight me.
Yeah.
She's like, we have the most famous podcast in New Mexico. He's been going 19 years. And they have me stand up. And she's like, this is a really emotional moment where she's like, I just want to thank you for being an ally.
Aw.
She's like, I want to thank you for being supportive and having, LGBTQ people on your show. And how in this time of the world that we're in, like
yeah.
to have someone like that. And I'm just like, wow, like I couldn't like, absolutely, I was literally like overwhelmed with emotion. I was like, wow, I
And
didn't
then-
even think of that.
And then she was like, and he's going to be taking your orders all night,
Yeah.
folks.
Yeah. Takes the piss out of it immediately. That's the best part too.
Yes. And but the one thing that I was like, they only let Alma go once.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I spoke down. And then Alma comes over and I was like, all right, I have a question, Alma. And she's like, what? And I was like, why are so many drag queens so tall?
They're men.
I know, but like,
They also wear high heels.
no.
Yeah.
I know that. But like a lot of those drag queens, you take those high heels off, they're still like 6'4".
Very tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I'm
She's
seeing,
a model.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was pretty impressive. And I was like really taken aback. And I did not expect any of that. And I was like, wow.
It's a gorgeous stage in the Soch.
Yeah.
Like that stage with those steps. I just think like everything that's in there is like so nice. And it's one of those things that,
And they don't do smoking anymore. And I'm like, I need to go get more.
yeah, same.
Because the smoking was what literally like stopped me.
Honestly, like the only regret, one of the only regrets I have about opening Dry Heat is that we don't get to go to the Soch very much.
Yeah.
It was so, all the people who work there and all the people who are involved are just like really great,
I love
fun
the
people.
Yeah.
And
And then they have like a coffee shop in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate that. Have you been there at Albuquerque
I
Social Club?
I have a
so
couple friends
social.
that go
Mhm.
often. I haven't been yet.
If you have the chance to go to a drag show there, it's really, really fun.
Yeah. It's set up for it and it makes it look like really spectacular.
Yeah, they're not lying. I've done a couple dance performances there. They have a nice stage.
I
They have a nice stage,
emceed
they have a nice
one of his
background.
dance performances there.
Yep.
And so that was
They
the
have
last
a
time I
nice
was there.
stage. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Soch is fabulous.
And their staff is like right on it, man. They knew.
So nice.
No, like even like when the drag queens were dancing, like they would go over and dump the money in the big, the big
Yeah.
and the staff would come over and like clean it out. Like they would like zoom in like incognito. And I was like, wow. And I was like, who knew LGBTQ people could put on a performance? I'm just kidding.
You're scooching that T up really up high in that acronym, and I'm here for it. Actually,
I mean, it should be first now at this point.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, I didn't know you guys
most
like
marginalized TLGBTQ.
I didn't know you guys like knew how to do performances. I had no idea. I'm just kidding. No, like I feel like if you're gonna have like you're gonna put on a show, you're like I'm gonna go talk to these people. They know what they're doing. Like it absolutely just amazed me how like everybody was insane, and it's like their equipment was top of the line. And I'm like,
it's so nice.
Yeah.
And DJ Flightphonic is like such a good DJ. Like he's
I like
so
that
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been doing it forever, and it's like so cool. And he does the drag brunch that they do at Electric Playhouse too,
Right.
which with Vanessa, which
And
honestly,
Alma's part of it. Yeah.
and like I love the idea that they're using a place like Electric Playhouse to do a drag brunch because
Yes.
how cool to have the floor and floor to ceiling projections that like help like add to your performance.
Right.
Like that's
Like,
unbelievable.
fully like teeny tiny little like story. We got married. We got married at
After those 3 times we had to reschedule.
Yes, in September of 2021, and the way that we did our wedding, we did like essential family people in
An
our
outdoor
friend's backyard.
ceremony.
Yes,
Mhm.
just in case. And then we did like everybody we knew at the time.
At the time.
Party at Electric Playhouse. We had like a wedding rave,
Oh,
basically.
that's so cool.
It was
very fun.
incredible. And then
sounds like it was super fun. I wish that
Yeah,
would've-
I wish. Gosh, if we only
if we had been closer, yeah. But anyway, one of the bartenders at our wedding was from the House of Martini,
Mhm.
and was talking about how they wanted to do drag brunches there, and they were like, "This is going to help us with our drag brunch
Mhm.
pitch."
I-
And we were like,
And then
I'm sorry, the House of Martini. I didn't catch that one in Game of Thrones.
oh yeah,
"You don't know that? You don't know the House of Martini?
You know the House
You
of
don't know
Martini. They benefit actually from
Oh, like
the,
Avery Martini, an incredible drag
Oh.
queen.
no,
here.
it's a joke. Yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I was like, "You don't know the House of
I
Martini?"
do, yeah.
But
yeah.
so and then also like Doug and Kristen were there, and that's why they got to do Sisical in.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason why. But it was definitely like
Yeah.
a thing where it was like that happened, this happened, and like
Yeah, it's connected, but not.
Mhm.
There's a connection, but no causality.
I did see Xanadu when they did it.
right. It's such a
Yeah.
cool space for these like, and I know that we are kind of like the ground zero for how a space like that can be used, and the fact that they're open in Vegas means that anything that people want to like workshop or do. Can mean that something can be happening in Vegas. Like if you were able to
Yeah.
like really come up with like a concept that worked here workshop it here, and you knew that then you could have like a residency in Vegas in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
I think that what a cool opportunity. What a cool thing to get to do.
And have you got to do anything at Electric Playground?
No, we were
Playhouse.
Playhouse. Sorry, I did it every
we
time.
were going to do because I did Rocky Horror a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And we were going so we did the Shadowcast at the Lobo Theater.
Nice.
And then we were gonna do the actual like the Rocky Horror Show
Nice.
at Electric Playhouse, but then like the cast kept getting COVID. So
Oh,
just
man.
canceled. Yeah.
Well, they did like Xanadu there, and in like for people who don't understand Electric Playhouses, it's like this interactive projection.
A former Staples, which is part of their value prop. Like genuinely, they say like they go into towns and they find their old big box stores that have been like
Circuit City.
Yes, and then they go in there and they're like, we have a way to make art and play and joy happen in this space.
Right.
And so keep going.
But you can like play like air hockey, like with your feet. And you can play like Space Invaders by throwing dodgeballs at the wall. And so like that's pretty cool. But then also like they're like, oh, and then like this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're gonna have Xanadu there, where all of the scenery is going to be projected on the walls and change. Really cool. And on the floor, and like, the guy's going to be on the edge of a pier. Well, we're going to have the pier on the floor, and it's like really amazing.
Have you been to one of the raves there?
I have not. I'm not much of a raver myself, but
I have like an alternate universe in which I would have been a raver.
Yeah,
but I'm alive now, so I'm
the closest I get to a rave is watching the movie Go.
Oh, I love Go. Oh, people don't bring up Go enough.
Not that crunchy herbal rave shit, right?
Fully. I like had a path at one point when I was like, is my life going to be Go? And then I just die at a rave.
You're all, or the opening of Blade.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But also possible. But
also
they bring in these like big DJs and there's big dance parties and they make the visuals happen all around you, like all around you. And it's so, really cool. Sober or otherwise, it's a really cool experience.
Well, and then Alma was saying, like, when they do the drag brunch, which I need to go, like, a drag queen will come out and there'll be, like, flames coming off of their feet. And I'm like, oh, that's...
Every step they take is, like,
incredible.
Programmed to be so cool.
And that's, like, really, the more you think about it, the more you're like, yes, this is so cool. There's some things that come out, like AI and all that, you're like, but this kind of stuff, you're like, okay, I love this.
This is what technology should be for.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, I can't think of what they call it, but how they film The Mandalorian. Have you seen that process?
Oh yeah, with the full like around it, like project.
Oh, it does have a name. It's called like the
room or the
tube or something.
Tube or
I don't know.
Yeah. And if you guys have, there's like I think it's online. You can like Google and watch the whole process of how they actually film The Mandalorian. It's really cool. And they don't they can make anything look like anything. And
it's very cool.
It blows your mind. Like there'll be like one piece of the set in the middle of the room, and like everything else is digital.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like I prefer that over the CGI. Like I think that's so cool. Have you ever seen this? Like you know what I'm talking about? So do you understand what we're talking about?
I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. So it's Star Wars, right? So okay. So they have this room, and it's all LED screens all the way around.
I think I do know what you mean. Yeah,
and
it's basically like a green screen alternative.
Yeah.
It is, but it's like if we were in this room and I could change this wall to look like a mountains, and you feel like you're seeing. So the thing that's cool about it is the camera has a chip in it, so that when
it smooths it.
Well, it does that, but also like when they move the camera, the room, the scene moves with it. Mm-hmm. And so they can film an entire scene and make it look like they're on an ice planet. Mm-hmm. And all they did was make the ice planet around them in the LED room.
So they don't have to CGI it in post. It's like while they're filming.
Yep.
And for actors, I think in particular, who have to like act off of like a floating tennis ball. It makes it so much nicer to just kind of be like,
the weirdest
in the desert. Yeah.
Have you had to do anything like that?
The actors here, you look up there.
I haven't had to do it, but I've been in scenes where I was like, I work as a stand-in sometimes, especially when I first got here. I did a lot of stand-in work and photo double work. So I was standing in for scenes where I was like surrounded by a whole green screen.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, how does this work?
So you guys are like into comedy and into movie. Have you watched the franchise on Max? They canceled it. They canceled it. But have you watched it?
No, but I love the premise of it, and I wanted to watch it.
Do you know what this is?
There's a million famous people in it.
Yeah, there's like a million famous. So it's all about they're filming like a Marvel type franchise movie.
Yes, this show.
And who's the guy that plays the main character? He's so good. Anyway, he's like an assistant director, and it's just literally following him around and watching like how like he navigates all these like egos, and the director's ego, the main actor's the main two actors, because like the main actor is like the new it guy in Hollywood that's got the six-pack and all that, and then the villain is like a former Shakespearean like theater guy, you know, and it's so funny, like all the little things he has to constantly like do to like get them just to fucking film the scene. And there's like the whole scene with them again, like some Middle Eastern country, and they're gonna blow up this bridge, and they're like, all right, go, and the bridge behind them blows up.
It's like, no.
And they're like, we're gonna delete all these scenes and we're gonna get out of this country as quick as we can. And it's fantastic, and like I guess people just didn't catch on to it, but it's really funny. And I sent it to a couple of my friends that are directors, and I was like, are you watching this? This is spectacular, because it's just him constantly dealing with the director who's like infatuated with Christopher Nolan. It's like I met him at a party once and he told me that, you know, and he's like always, every time they'll pan over to him, he's telling someone that story.
So
you know? Yeah.
Wait, I have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
Do you prefer, on this kind of theme, do you prefer movie acting or stage acting?
That's a good question.
Ooh, I think I'm a better film actor. When it comes to just like, I think I'm better when it comes to being subtle with things. Theater acting can be really fun though,
because you have to be a little bit.
You have to be more
theatrical,
more
like,
energy, and that's the thing. Like when I was a kid,
emotive
with anxiety, I really struggled with being big enough.
Yeah.
It was always said, like, it's a compliment, but it's really an insult when people would be like, "You're more of a film actor," because I'm supposed to be like in a big musical, and I wasn't able to really bring it in the way I was supposed to. I feel like now I'm much better at theater acting than I used to be, but overall, like career-wise, film is definitely my niche and where I see myself.
Are there any like musical theater like performances that like hype you up? Like when you're like, okay, I gotta go out there, I gotta do this.
Well, what hypes me up, I've recently started going to the gym.
Yeah.
Very recently. And the Legally Blonde playlist is the most motivating. I was bothering my fiance, I think literally yesterday, maybe the day before, and making him listen to all the songs. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like if you are on the treadmill to this song, like you're gonna keep
Courtney,
going.
take your break.
Yeah.
Yes,
like
fully.
So Legally Blonde is very motivating.
Oh my god, you guys, my so I was in a sorority once upon a time.
What the fuck?
You didn't know that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you're Greek as well. You're Greek.
What did you call me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I am,
yeah. Anyway, me and my sorority sisters would like drive around Fort Worth, like screaming, "Oh my god, you guys!" Like, fully.
It's so upbeat, and it really gets, especially because the songs are specifically like she's motivating herself within the songs.
Yes.
She's pursuing a law degree, but I'm like, I can pursue like toning up a little bit.
Yes.
So it's very motivating. It's one of my favorite shows.
I read recently the biography of like Steve McQueen.
Oh.
And like he's one of those actors, like is it like the Lee Strasberg, like that like group that, you know, of acting, where like they came in and you had all the former actors, like the older school of thought, where it was like you'd go on and you would tell people what you were feeling. Well, his acting, you know, was like, well, you show people how you're feeling through your body language, right? What did you study? Like, did you study anything to like get you prepared, or are you just like self-taught, or?
Kind of a combination. Again, I've always been taking classes. I grew up, specifically the kind of theater I was doing was a lot of camps where the whole goal was to teach. You know, we have directors are also teaching us what it takes to act, and like the kind of headspace we need to be in, what kind of methods we need to be using to like learn our lines and to deliver our lines. But I'm not somebody who has done a very specific method or a very
I don't know if there is
anymore,
right?
Nowadays, it's really hard to just pick one, I feel like, because there's so many different methods. Like, I'm not a method actor. I'm not somebody that comes to set in character and stays in character the whole time.
Right.
But I will say I understand how some people need to be in that headspace.
Yeah.
To
Jared Leto.
performed.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's someone that's like acting now that you kind of look up and you're like, man, that's the level I would love to be at?
Well, somebody that I've always really looked up to, and my favorite actress when I was in high school was Kristen Wiig.
Hell
Okay.
yes,
Because
for sure.
specifically, a lot of people really know her for her comedy and for SNL, which that makes sense. That's
Sure.
what she's probably the most known for, and then Bridesmaids. But if you really look into her work, she's done a lot of really good dramatic roles in indie films, and she's somebody that can do both. And that's kind of how I see myself. I see myself in her, and I did get to work with her. I was her stand-in when she was here. They did a TV show of MacGruber.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was her stand-in, and I got to like see
Great
her
show,
up
by the way.
close.
So good.
So, oh my god, everybody that worked on the show was amazing. So talented, so funny. But she, like, getting to see somebody that I've always like idolized, and I did an interview in high school where I was working on a short film, and they asked me, and I was not prepared. They were like, "Who's your favorite actress?" And I didn't have anybody in mind, and I said her. And then a few years later, I got to work with her. So
See,
it's really full circle.
you put that out in the world. See?
Exactly. So that's definitely somebody whose career I like. And I haven't really done a lot of comedy personally, but I do think I could do comedy if I was put in that position.
Let us know.
Well, it was really interesting to me because everybody like from last weekend I did a lot of the panels, and I met a lot of those people, and everybody's like, which one was your favorite? And it was really weird. My answer is really weird. It was David Patrick Kelly.
Yeah.
And he was the guy from Warriors. The Warriors Come Out Play. He was T-Bird in the Crow. He's Sully and like Command. And it's like, and it was
laugh a minute.
The thing that's amazing is like he was this guy in these movies that's like this little role. Like his roles were like small but iconic in every single thing he did. But but when he got up there and talked, like he was such a stage actor. And like he was on Twin Peaks, and then his agent was like, "All right, you're on one of the hottest TV shows in the world. What are we doing next?" And he goes, "I'm gonna go do this Greek play." And his fucking agent was like, "Are you fucking out of your mind?" And he's like, "You're on the hottest TV show on TV. Let's move you into something else." And he goes, "Yeah, a Greek play." And he was adamant about it, and that's because he's such a stage performer, and he's such a fan of the arts. And listening to him talk about the arts, he was he almost seems like one of those people that's like, I mean, the money's cool. It helps pay for the lights to be on, but I love to do these things. And then he brought his mandolin and he sang an Irish tune that he sang to David Lynch. And there's video of him singing to David Lynch in a forest as they were filming some movie, and he sang it for us live. And I filmed a little bit of it, and I got up from behind the table and went and sat in the audience and just got the chills from it. Like I was like, wow, this is fantastic. And just to watch someone who's like not in it to be famous, they were not into it to be, whatever. They were like into it because they probably don't have any other choice. This is what they do. Yeah.
It's just one of those things too, where it's like, I know that like a lot of actors get like famous and it's glamour or whatever, but this is like genuinely a craft. Like this is a craft.
Yeah.
And when you watch like craftsmen come through and do it, it's like really, it's unmatched. Like it's so cool.
Yeah. Like if someone I worked at a company that had like gas stations, and we would, break concrete, and like this guy, like he was our concrete guy. They would come and like pour all this concrete down, and he would just throw on these knee pads and just get down there and just shoo, 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 and like 3 swipes, and all of a sudden this thing came to like be a thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa. And he's like, you want to try it? And I was like, sure. And and it looked awful. And it's that kind of thing where you're like, okay, these are people who work hard, but they are skilled. And they're like, it's not skilled labor. Yes, it is. And it is amazing. And it's the same with acting. It's the same with comedy, same with podcasting, same with writing. It's, whatever. And it's like, nothing is easy.
You have to develop the skill. It doesn't come so many people, again, when it comes to entertainment fields like acting, singing, comedy, people assume it's a natural skill everybody has. When most of the time, the people that are successful in these industries had to train a lot to, like a lot of famous singers, when you hear what they sounded like as a teenager, like they worked at it for years. A lot of actors have to work at it for years. It's not, even if you're a natural talent, you still have to work at it and develop this skill because there's so many technical aspects to it.
Yeah. Like, and not even that, it's like blocking and,
That's the
hitting your mark and, all that stuff. all these things I've heard
I
about.
But also knowing how to be cool when you're like not in the scene. Like, do you know what I mean? Like even just being like behind and like just being like, I have to chill and sit here and.
Well, and sometimes you have to stay in character even when they're not showing.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. When you're not the person that the camera is facing, you have to stay in character for your castmates, and some people are unable to do that or just refuse to do that.
Or
And if you're a dead body, then I'm sure they have to like Weekend Bernie's you back to.
that guy, that guy
Dead
broke
body's
a
the worst.
lot of bones.
I know he did. I know. Yeah. I mean,
And then he was like talking, like I asked him about that. I was like, "What all did you break?" And he was like, 4 ribs, a bone in my neck,
My God.
and then a bone in his hand. And then he's like, and then like later on in the thing, he's like, "Oh, it's one of the most fun movies I've ever did." I'm like, "Are you fucking like?"
I mean, it was a weekend. It
Yeah.
was pretty fun.
I did ask him too. I was like, "Did you go to the hospital so many times?" They were like, Is everything okay at home?"
Yeah.
And, I'm filming a movie. I swear.
Is the director
Jonathan Silverman's
paying you?
abusing me. Yeah. The single guy is really making my life hell.
I feel so bad.
He's making my life Hades.
So I love Jonathan Silverman. I grew up watching him, and when he told that story about Friends, I was like, oh my god, like, oh.
But that they gave him the single guy. They gave him his own.
That's right. I
He could
remember
do
that.
it.
Yeah, people
I-
remember that
Mhm.
show.
I do. I remember. I got his
Uh-huh.
place card after the actual panel of it.
Oh,
I was
did
like,
you? All right,
Single
hold on,
guy,
hold
single
on. We haven't talked to you about
Mhm.
this yet, Elvira.
oh man.
She got to do the panel for Elvira.
Cassandra
Oh.
Peterson is so nice, and I only
Yeah.
got to do it because of Ming. So Ming has been so gracious to be
Yeah.
like, I know you love her, come and do it with me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so we got to co-host
Right.
it together, and she is 73. Which
Oh, dude, and
Wait, she's
what amazing
Yeah.
looking
she looks
73.
younger than me.
Yeah.
She is incredible. Yeah, thank you for affirming that. But also, that's fine.
I didn't say she looked better than you. I just said she looked amazing at 73.
I said she looked younger than me, and you went, yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Hell yeah.
Better than Sarah, yeah.
But she should. She's amazing. So she is the nicest, and she's also one of those people who's like on it. Like she's always like looking for like the next thing or the next like how can I take the IP that I've created, which is Elvira, and like turn it into something else that I can use for my career. And that is the most like inspiring thing that I could ever like be present in front of and ask questions toward, because she was like, she came out through the Groundlings just like Kristen Wiig. And so she developed the Elvira character with all of her Groundling friends. But that was also the middle of her career. So she had been the youngest showgirl in Vegas. She was 17.
What?
Wild.
Mhm. And then, yeah, she lied. And she got through the kind of like Mila Kunis and like the 70s show. But so she was the youngest showgirl that had ever been in Vegas. She hooked up with Elvis. And then because of her connection with Elvis,
She hooked up with a lot of people.
yeah, oh yeah, of course, yes. But
Yeah,
then,
but Elvis was the coolest.
yes, and Elvis was like, you got to get out of Vegas. You got to get out of here. You got to
Yeah.
go to Los Angeles, like make this happen for yourself. So she went there, got involved with the Groundlings, did comedy stuff, met Paul Rubens, and
That Pee Wee
Oh,
story
yeah.
was awesome. Yeah.
oh man, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And so all that stuff, and I know so much about like just her biography and like everything like that. And so it was taking me like everything I was like not gonna like info dump back at her about her own life. Like it was like and the people who came up to ask questions were like so kind and nice, and there were so few creeps, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
But she literally signs off on every piece of merch that's
yeah.
made in the Elvira name. And so it was so cool to get to talk with her, like, oh, so you know about the salt and pepper shakers, where like one boob is salt and one boob is
Yeah.
pepper. And she was like, yes, yes. And then we were like, and then you know about the mouse pad, where like the wrist guard is the
boobs.
boobs. And she was
Yeah.
like, actually, that saved me from carpal tunnel this week. And I was like,
She was legitimately like congenial and funny, like
Mhm.
just really like on it, like bam, bam, bam. So you could tell she was like, you know, that's why she's successful.
so nice. And she had some AV problems in the room, and
Yeah.
so like that was, I think, really genuinely, I knew like me and Ming's like main job was just to be like, hold on, we're gonna like facilitate this for you
Right.
and get her the questions that she needed.
to let you know,
Mhm.
that was the best it's ever been.
Wow.
No, I mean the AV
Mhm,
problems, like it's way worse than that usually. Because someone's like, oh man, I bet Albuquerque Comic Con's on it, and I was like, no,
Well, yeah, come on.
No.
Don't be-
no, this no for like
this
the
is
AV.
the wavy hour, so you're allowed
No.
to say that. But
No, I mean like for the like, ask Ming. Like every year, it's like how like Ming requested the monitors.
Mhm.
We wouldn't have had
which
monitors.
was cool. Yeah, we saw them. They were right on stage,
Yeah.
and they were not turned on. But
Yeah, well, they were for one of mine.
I'm sure. Yeah, probably the big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
you don't walk like into Mordor without
Yeah.
having the monitors
Yeah,
on.
one does not simply.
But we didn't have heat, so that was
No.
it cold up there for you?
Sure. No, it was actually we were fine.
What in
But
the F, dude? It was like it was like 20, like, and I'm not exaggerating.
what in the F on your own podcast?
It's like 22. It was
What
like,
in
it
the
was,
F?
it was like 22 degrees up there. Like if you see me in a picture and I'm like have my arms folded because I'm freezing, and I'm just trying to like be like, oh, I'm cool. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, probably for Elvira, they were like, they're going to be looking at her boobs anyway,
true.
so we should
Sure.
probably make it temporary.
So
hot.
so I
Yeah.
snuck my friend. My friend showed up and on Saturday Sunday and she'd never been to a Comic-Con. And I was like, we're gonna go to the green room, and she's like, I think I'll let me
Damn.
in. I think I'll let me in, and I was like,
That's exactly how I felt when Ming brought me backstage. And I
Right.
was like, oh, if I can be back here.
it's weird, right?
Yeah.
And so I tell her, I'm like, you and I are gonna walk to this room. You act like you're just like tired.
Mhm.
You look tired and like determined. And she goes, okay. And the guy looks up and he goes, and then just looks back down at the football he's watching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we're sitting in there, and she walks in.
Oh man.
And my friend goes, that's Elvira. And I was like, act cool. Don't freak the fuck out. Just be here. And she sits down at the table next to us. And yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
She was so nice.
And she was really nice. Yeah.
The one thing I wish I could have told her
Yeah.
before we got off stage is that at the Black Mesa casino
Mhm.
between here and Santa Fe, they still have an old Elvira machine,
Oh.
and it's awesome. Like it's all spiders and like
Oh,
spooky
yeah.
stuff. I'm like, whatever. And Kelly and I like played it last
we
time.
won
We
like
got
our rent.
we got a huge bonus on it. And
Oh,
so I'd be like,
nice.
thank you for providing.
Yes.
Well, in honestly, she's like the poster child. Because like someone's like, oh, she has to do cons to make money. I'm like, no.
No, she
No,
does
she does not. And you talk about somebody who took a thing she did
hmm
Yeah.
and turned that into her livelihood and her career. She's like poster child for that.
hmm
Honestly,
Iconic.
like low key,
Oh, yeah.
one of the more successful groundlings.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever.
And it's also one of those things too, where it's like she had said she gave the exact recipe for how to like have a persona that works, and she said like it was like a Chinese food restaurant menu. So it's like you pick your base. So is it rice or noodles? You pick your protein and you pick your veggies. And she's like, but genuinely think about this with like a persona. So you have this idea of like, I am a valley girl who is spooky and also like
Yeah.
Mhm. And so it's like if you put all three of those things, nothing like that has ever existed. So like you can do that over and over and
Right.
over again, and then be able to make people excited and surprised and buy some salt and pepper shakers with your own boobs
Yeah,
on it. Like,
Well,
yeah.
At work, when I brought her up, people were like, I don't know who that is.
What?
And I pulled the picture up and they go, oh yeah, yeah. And I was like,
Yes, Elvira, I guess.
Elvira.
Kelly and I talk constantly about that era of
Right.
performers where it was just like the B-52s,
Yes.
Yes.
Pee-wee, Elvira,
Yes.
those triplet older ladies who always wear go-go boots and were like performing like
I don't know that
you
one.
have to know.
I probably do, yeah.
Yeah. But like everything about that like kitschy era of the 90s
Yes.
is such a cool, it's almost like a 60s throwback.
Well, they were like 80s for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
late 80s into the early 90s, like
Yeah.
that has set up everybody with the idea of what postmodernism even looks like in
Right,
pop culture.
Right.
And it is so cool to I don't know, even like
I feel
the
like
fact-
Alan Cumming
I mean,
can be
Mhm.
put in that
Mhm.
group.
look at the show logo right now.
I mean, yes, exactly. So
Mhm.
and then you get into like that kind of stuff too, where it's like
Yeah.
Harvey Danger and like that kind of like alternative.
Even
rock
now,
stuff.
you get like suffragettes
Mhm.
and all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes. Oh, they were great.
Yeah, they're incredible, which we told you. But
yeah,
yeah.
it's perfect. Yeah,
I went.
they're great. They're
I
great.
went.
We were
Yeah.
there.
Wait, okay, I have another question. Okay. What are your Oscars predictions?
Oh. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. I haven't seen all the nominees, and I don't
Okay.
like to make predictions until I've actually seen everything.
Heard.
I have a question
Okay,
for everyone here.
Before you ask that though,
Okay,
you are union, so if you
Yeah.
wanted to tell who you voted for,
Well, I'm waiting for So I like to get the physical screeners.
Mhm.
Everything's green now, which is awesome. But I like to own the physical copies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for my
Can
physical
I,
because I haven't seen Wicked yet.
Oh,
Can I,
I'm waiting for the physical copy.
Can I
to
come
in.
watch Kalita Nunn with you? I've seen it.
if there's a way for you to get to see Wicked like in a theater though, and like get the full, it's so cool to
It
see
was
it.
always like I wanted to see it in theaters, but I don't like going to crowded movie theaters
Yes.
Mm.
because people are horrible. The last time I
They
was in
sure
a
are.
theater,
Sit down and stop singing.
Right.
that's the thing. That's
Yeah.
even worse with
Phones
Wicked because
and-
people are going to want to sing. But every time I go into a theater, there's always people coughing.
No,
There's always like a
Stress.
ridiculous number of people coughing through a whole. The last thing I saw in theaters was Nosferatu,
Okay.
and the entire time there were like people on either end of the theater coughing throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was, and there's always obnoxious people. One time a few months ago, I don't know what I was seeing because I was so distracted. People were Snapchatting with the flash.
Oh, come
With the flash on.
Yeah, that's
It was
wild.
ridiculous.
That's
Wild.
ridiculous. Did
Yeah.
you? So
Where are you going to watch
right.
your movies at?
Regular movie theaters.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you should.
Local
No, this
theaters.
is Wicked. Wicked is the whole thing.
Oh,
They
so
had to-
good.
One
They had to
extra.
release. They had to release a version for people to sing in the theater.
But they do that
to
with
it.
all
Along.
musicals. You
But-
can do,
Oh, I
you
didn't
do it
know
with
that.
Grease. They do it with Mamma
Yeah.
Mia. They do it all
Oh,
the time.
alright.
Yeah.
Weirdest
But you said
thing.
even with Nosferatu, it was like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's true.
People are just really. I feel like
just-
since COVID, people have
pieces
gotten
of
really
shit.
rude.
Yeah.
They
Well,
lost their theater etiquette.
I
everybody-
saw Megan like
Yeah.
in the theater.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
Myth
Well, every-
Regan.
Everybody wants to be famous like quickly and do something viral, and it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, so people, if I'm going to go to the movies, I either see something a few weeks after it came out, if it's still in theaters, because everybody's seen it already that wants to,
right.
or I try to go like on a Wednesday afternoon.
Smart.
Yeah.
So 'cause I just don't want to be in a crowd that's going to ruin it for me.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to get sick. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a crowded room with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
That's another cool thing about the guild, though. Like the guild is like,
Guild rules.
yeah, they pick all the really good stuff that
Yeah,
they
they
need,
do.
that Albuquerque needs to have.
Yes.
And they
So-
have midnight shows.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I know it's too late for you.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
the-
old.
They're the only ones I can see. I
So-
get off work late.
Did you guys see Timothy Chalamet from Saturday Night Live last night?
Okay, we've been waiting on it, but I know all the stuff that happened last time. But
I'm not talking about any of the sketches.
Mhm.
So he
when he did the songs.
yeah,
Good?
motherfucking amazing.
I heard so good. I heard
Dude.
so good.
Okay,
That's good.
I think so. I saw a week. So I'm a huge Dylan is like one of my.
I mean, like
yeah.
his first appearance on SNL, he sang for that too.
Yeah.
Like,
Did he? Okay.
yeah, and that
He's
was
a
right
musical
Well, because
theater nerd.
Tiny Horse.
Yeah.
he did
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
He's my
So,
tiny
before
horse.
Dune came out. I was like, this guy's gonna get. He's gonna nail it.
Dude.
Mhm.
So
He's got it.
he prepared for that role as Dylan like 6 years,
Mhm.
right? Which
He
I
had
love.
live singing on set, like
Right.
really, like
That's
just
so
like
impressive.
mhm.
Which I love
Wow.
because, like, we live in this culture where everybody's like, I want to get famous like quickly and like not work that hard. And to see this guy,
Nobody
who's-
wants to work.
no,
Is that what you're saying?
no, nobody wants to work. No, but like they don't want to put it into their craft. And to see this guy do this movie, and like was very skeptical because I'm such a Dylan guy. I've read the biographies, I've watched the documentaries, and it is phenomenal. It is a phenomenal film. The director did a killer job because biopics are kind of made fun of now because they're pretty paint by the
I
number.
think it's pronounced biopic.
Biopic.
I'm literally just
Biopic?
joking. I'm just joking.
And then they're like, well, he's going to be on SNL next week. He's going to perform as the musical guest as well as the host. And I'm like, okay, he's going to do, which songs is he going to do? He did 3 Dylan songs that no one knows.
He got to do 3.
That's a lot.
Kind of.
Honestly, Taylor Swift was the only person who's gotten to do 3.
So they only did 2 performances, but he
Mhm.
did 3 songs.
Once again, Timothy Chalamet.
And do you know who brought him out?
Bob Dylan.
Adam Sandler.
Dan. Oh yeah.
I was like, that's-
Chalamet.
Oh, but then, so one of the songs one of his performances was 2 songs, and but like I've went and rewatched one of them like 3 times, and I was like, this guy is something. Like he is something else.
He's going to be a really
Yeah.
great cover artist.
and I'm looking at the comments on YouTube and
Good
like
job,
so
Timmy.
I'm expecting like to go on there and be like, oh yeah, he could sing it. Nope. Everybody's like, boom, boom, boom.
Great. How cool.
He needs to tour as Dylan. And I'm like, Dylan is still alive. Okay, we know this, right? Yeah. But
Maybe they could do a duet.
Oh.
I think Chalamet would probably be better. I don't know. I've seen Dylan 3 times, and it's a tough watch. I love him though so much.
You ever see Jacob Dylan? You ever see the wallpapers?
I've seen him. I've seen him.
Wallflowers?
Uh,
The wallflowers. The wallflowers. Please don't listen.
I've seen him twice.
Cancel culture is ruining comedy. So please do not.
I've seen him. I've seen him twice.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of them was at which blows my mind was at the brewery in Taos Mesa Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because he was, it's Jacob Dylan.
Yep.
And, Wallflowers. And they're like, he's going to be out at the amphitheater. And we get there and it's like fucking raining like a motherfucker. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to move him inside.
Sure.
We're going to take all of you people that were going to be in an amphitheater and pack you into this brewery.
Amphitheater.
And this is when people like first were like Albuquerque and in New Mexico, we were like, oh, we know brewery beer. People in West Texas, not so much.
No.
Yeah, I believe it.
And there was literally like people that had 3 like beers and threw up.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're also at altitude.
yeah.
Please
Yeah.
respect their 3 beer limit.
And Jacob Dylan did 2 Warren Zevon covers, and it was fantastic.
But only one headlight, which I think is interesting.
very, very nice. And then the second time I saw him, he did 3 Tom Petty songs.
Oh,
And this is after, and I was like, oh,
that's nice.
he's so good.
He's got a good voice for that, actually.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a really nice.
Yeah. So very good. Very good. Yeah. But so I don't know. Was it Complete Unknown 7 nominations?
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who do you think is going to be the big winner, though?
I swear to God. Again, we mentioned this in the last segment, but
Yeah.
Amelia Perez is such a
nominated for
Is it-
everything.
Is it a good? Is it that good?
garbage movie.
Okay.
It's so
But
bad.
I've heard
it looks
that.
really nice.
I've heard this.
Yep.
I've only heard terrible things.
Listen, okay, here's what I will say.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. Zoe Saldana is dancing very well
Okay.
and singing very well.
And
Okay.
all in Spanish, which is really interesting
Yes.
too.
But the rest of it is hot garbage.
Really?
The storyline is garbage.
It sounds like it was written by AI.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
and
I watched the Golden Globes mostly with you guys.
Yes.
And they kept bringing this, and I'm like, I don't even know what this
we
is.
went
We
home
went
that
home
night and watched it.
Amelia Perez.
It was
'cause we were
horrible.
like, what's the big deal about this?
Yeah.
How come it keeps
Dude.
winning everything? And we were like, so cool about like the lead actress like making that speech, and we
Yeah.
were like,
Yes.
so cool about like having
And
her-
she's great.
she is.
Everything I've heard about her is that she made her role much better than what it would have
Okay.
been, even though her role is still extremely problematic.
It's so problematic.
Really?
And so when you start the movie and you're like, cool, all right. And then even like there's that one scene that's like super viral right now where it's like talking about like vaginoplasty, rhinoplasty, or like whatever.
Yeah.
And like people are
And
like,
that's
how
a
come this
song.
is getting like nominated over Wicked? And like, but in the context of the movie, that's not even the worst part of it.
Right. You're like, okay, cool. That's kind of cool.
It's kind of like Across the Universe,
Yeah.
where it's got like a little bit of like
Okay.
it's in the context of the movie, and it's kind of
Yes.
cool and kind of weird, and but man, by the end of the movie, you're like, I think this is going to stick with me for a
There's
couple days in a bad way.
so many problems. It feels like a white dude wanted to write a musical
Oh, wow.
about Mexico.
Mexico.
And because he was like, I don't really know much about Mexico.
I know about tacos.
He was like, I
Mhm.
better distract them by making it a trans play, which I also don't know much about, but at least more people know less about transness than they do about Mexico. So
She's
they'll
also-
throw them off the
she's-
scent.
She's trans and she's in a lowrider eating tacos.
No,
right?
But I will
No,
tell you right now,
It was like
he's trans.
He's trans.
Uh,
and
They
yeah,
misgendered
it's
her so many
fucked up.
times that it was like, I cannot even believe that this is what we're watching. And then the end of the movie was supposed to be very different, and the lead actress was like, you cannot do this way.
Listen,
You have to change this.
not to be I work in queer media about this,
Yeah.
but like I've been reading a lot of
Been
queer
holding
media.
space.
Yes, right. I know, right? But I have been reading a lot of the queer media around this, and like literally every single queer media outlet is panning this movie.
They're like, we don't want this to win the award
No.
for us.
Well, yes,
We
because
don't.
it got 13 Oscar nominations, but 0 GLAAD Award nominations. And it also,
Awful.
same thing too when it comes to like the representation of Mexican Americans
Yes.
and
Right.
Mexican people, Mexican actors and stuff. And it's like none of those, nobody wants to touch it except for some reason
Nobody
the
Hollywood.
Golden
wants
Globes and
this.
the Oscars. Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
well, it was crazy because I'm watching the Golden Globes with you guys, and I was like, "Oh, why is like a complete unknown not on any of this?" And you guys were like, "Oh, I think it didn't hit the deadline." Well, it's the Oscars are like, "I don't know why you didn't do this," and like 7, and then in like. What was the Brutalist? I haven't watched that
Yeah.
yet.
It's
But I
long.
want
It
to.
has an
Brutalist.
intermission if you see it in the
It's
theater.
3 hours.
Yeah. It's 20 minutes shorter than The Irishman.
Would you say it's brutal? Yeah.
Did you watch it? Have you watched it yet?
I haven't. I'm gonna see it. My fiance wants to go.
But
very
I love,
badly.
but I love the joke that she said she saw in what's his name that's in it. It's
A 2-time Holocaust
he's
survivor.
He's a 2-time Holocaust survivor. Yeah, because that was fantastic. But I read
Yeah.
so I read the synopsis of it, and as a Jewish American, I was like, oh, this is pretty. It sounds heavy, and it shocks me that it wasn't. It's not being like higher up, but yeah. But I keep seeing Emil
Well, I mean,
Perez.
listen, a
Mhm.
white guy wrote a story about a Mexican
Yeah.
trans person,
Right.
and it really needs to be elevated.
sorry.
Please.
We're so
Jesus.
sorry. But yeah.
It's so okay.
Yeah.
The main trans actress, who is trans herself, she like the original screenplay that the white dude wrote.
Right.
That it was an opera originally.
Well,
Yes.
hold on.
Oh.
Cis
Mhm.
white dude, probably.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
for
Yeah.
sure.
Fully was like
Wait, are you serious? Was it really written as an opera?
yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
and to be fair
Very
about
nice
that,
to meet you.
yes,
Sex
to be-
operation.
to be fair about that, it does take an operatic structure, and that is like I would say one of the least problematic parts of the movie.
It should be a
Yes.
tragedy, like a
It
full.
is.
Right.
And like that is something that is cool about it. But okay,
Originally,
the like drug lord was not identifying as trans, but like was using the idea of transitioning his gender. I say his because in the original he was not trans, he was a cis man, using the idea of transitioning to hide.
Okay.
And the trans actress
Those drug
who
dealers.
actually plays this person and is truly trans herself was like, this is incredibly
cannot do this.
problematic.
You
You
can't
cannot do
Please
this.
do not do this.
She needs to know that she is trans the entire time, pre-transition and post-transition.
Right.
And that's also why she now plays with prosthetics both the pre-transition and post-transition
Oh.
drug
Oh,
lord.
okay.
That's cool.
I mean,
It is cool,
It
but
does-
Don't make that be the
But-
reason why you watch the movie.
it's a problem. It is like a problem that like this movie was greenlit, produced, everything like
Yeah.
funded, and
I'm almost wondering why
It wasn't
the
an-
actor kept doing the role.
Well-
she she does it like
Yeah.
very specifically because it was a way for her to tell stories. And I will tell every like not even every like
Right.
literally only because they won the movie award
Yeah.
did they
Yeah.
give her like a platform to talk
Yes.
about anything.
Sure.
And like even when Zoe Saldana won the Golden Globe, she didn't mention her at all. Like there was
No.
nothing about the story except for being like, I'm just an actress and I can't believe I got this. And I was like, there's a bigger narrative here.
shut up.
That's very important.
Yes, this is an American award in America where
Right.
Anyway.
trans people are the most maligned people in America right now.
This
Right.
and
Anyway,
Mexico and France.
whatever.
But this is also like this is the waviest hour that we've ever been.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just here to rant, but I'm just saying like
No, I'm here
like,
for it, man.
there is no world in which like
Yeah.
a story centering your protagonist like who is from a specific background
Uh-huh.
should have ever made it to the floor where now an actor who has that lived experience now has to weigh in and fully change the arc of your story because you didn't do enough research, you didn't know enough about it, you didn't do like sensitivity readings. Like, come on.
And I wish so badly that everybody had seen the movie, although don't go watch it. Because the spoiler alert about how it ends is like
Wild. wild.
Like, what are you
Fully wild.
Yeah, so-
I'm just excited. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't. I'm getting the
You
screener
do.
for it.
You
I'm
do
waiting
need
for it
to.
come
I,
in the mail. I'm
Mhm.
curious.
There are a lot of really cool musical numbers.
There are, yeah, there and like the musical. That's the reason why I keep bringing up like Across the Universe about it, because it's like there were some moments where like it felt like
It's cool.
That
There are
movie.
cool vibes, but the overarching
Yeah.
situation is rough.
I just want to point out to Smiley during the break how they talked about how curmudgeonly ranty I get
yeah.
during the wavy hour.
Well, you guys,
What?
y'all brought up Amelia.
We learned it from you.
I learned it by watching you, Chris.
Every week.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm like, I haven't seen it, but I hate it. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't know if I want to watch it or not. I'm like, I feel like I
just
should.
watch it with the right context. Like I would say, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be like, I miss this white man, and that was beautiful.
that's fine too. Like,
I'm just kidding.
It's fully
we'll do
like,
another episode about this podcast.
No,
but-
I'm kidding.
it's
yeah.
fully like the first act. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
let's go.
a little weird, but cool. Got
And
this.
then
Let's-
afterward, it's just so
Yeah.
disappointing.
And there's also like another one that like Sebastian Stan
oh yeah,
is in, and I had not heard of that one either. Like,
he's in 2. So
yeah,
he's,
he's in the Donald Trump. Well, no, he
Yeah.
was like at the Golden Globes. He was kind of mad that that one was not
Mhm.
the Donald Trump one was not nominated, but he's nominated for one where he plays a man that's like disfigured.
Yeah.
And then they like fix his like disfigurement, and then he becomes like a famous actor.
Isn't it called like the
Mm.
Ordinary Man? Is that right?
I don't.
It's
Different
called
man?
Princess Diaries.
Yes,
It's
yes.
called the Princess Diaries, of course.
It's called Johnny Handsome. No, but
No, I know which one you're talking about.
So-
I wanted to see what that one.
I'm a big Wikipedia reader. After we were there, I went and read the
My
little
favorite
plot.
version of the Twilight books is in the Hunger
Wikipedia.
Games. Wikipedia. You see the movie and you're like, this is not how I picture
Oh,
it.
if you want an actual narrative that is drama filled and exciting, go to the Albuquerque Comic-Con Facebook page and read how they did not have a big enough room for the Twilight audience.
That was so for real though.
Oh.
I ran that panel
Oh,
and I was like,
nice.
they
were-
hey. It was the tiny room, like the tiny room.
Twilight?
Yes, it was about. I think if that wall had been torn down here in the
Yeah,
studio,
yeah,
it was about this size.
Why was
It's-
it-
yeah. I don't know.
We had 3 of the actors. They were all Cullens. It was perfect. It was Ashley Green and Cullen Lutz and
And the room was at capacity. They couldn't.
Mhm.
People were
Of
outside,
course.
couldn't get in. Yeah,
and so my job as a moderator was just to keep like repeating everything back to the people who are outside. being like,
she's got a megaphone. She's out
Mhm.
there. Out. She's
I
like,
would have brought
this is
one.
what the actor said.
Mhm.
We have one. We would have
Yes.
brought it.
Yeah.
And so, but it was wild. And sometimes there would be questions asked, like somebody asked, like, "Are you Team Jacob or Team Edward?" And they were literally all Cullens. And I was like, "What do you think? What do you
Yeah.
think that they are?" And then everybody who was outside of the room was like, "No!" Like screaming on the glass,
Hitting the glass. My favorite thing is I got to do a panel in that room, and it was the Honky Tonk Man and the $1 Million Man,
hmm
and both of them like immediately went into how much they hate everything about professional wrestling nowadays, right?
Oh.
Right, and like Fred and I could have, worked to turn this,
Mhm.
and Fred and I look at each other, and meet eye to eye, and subconsciously decide we are not.
No.
And then instead we are going to go the other direction and pour the salt into the gaping wound that is these two men's hatred for what their sport has become, which is hilarious because one of them this week, because that was last weekend,
Mhm.
was asked and paid and got to come on Saturday night's main event for WWE and walk in and be like, "Oh, so great to be here. I love it." And I'm like, it's so hilarious how last weekend you were like, "I hate it. I have no passion for this. This business sucks. The people who do it are trash." Like, I mean, literally just shitting all over every single bit.
I
of it.
really want to know which one it was.
$1 Million Man,
Of
Ted
course,
DiBiase.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
And of
Ted
course,
DiBiase.
It's all about that money.
well, his song was "Everybody's Got Their Pride,"
Mhm.
and like it was hilarious because he's literally sitting there just telling all these stories about how he hates it. He does not watch it, and then I guess I need to watch the footage of him from the because I guess he was like, "Yeah, I like this wrestler," and they're so good. And I'm like, "What in the fuck, dude? You were just in front of hundreds of people telling them how awful it is." And somebody pointed that out, and I haven't watched it yet, but I thought it was really funny how like sometimes your life like you're like in this situation, and all of a sudden it's on the main stage, and it like you're like, "Whoa, that was really surreal, and that's one of those moments. So yeah,
Funny.
but it's great. It's great. So yeah, let's wrap this up.
We have another meeting we got to get to.
Do you really got another meeting?
Yes, we
Yeah.
really do.
Those are all about meetings, man.
Yeah, we love to. We
we're
love to
a
meet.
bit over.
Mm.
Our studio dog's not here barking at us.
You know, she
We're
usually gets
happy.
mad.
Stealing his dog.
How weird is this, right?
I love it.
We're
I'm
best
afraid my dog is
friends.
going to run away from home and
The last
pop
two
up here.
times we've been here, she's really found like a
Yeah.
little
Friend.
nestle spot.
We're best
Right, but like
buddies.
she's new. It's not like she's like known this dog.
I'll take
Yeah.
her home
Yeah.
for a couple days.
No.
to
Oh,
go.
don't do that. Oh, no.
gosh.
He was already a little salty when like she really like warmed up to me. He was like, "What?"
Man, my dog likes you. Man, why does the dog like you? I don't like you. I'm just kidding.
Imagine.
I'm so excited for my birthday party in a couple weeks.
God,
or
it's
a
gonna be
week and a
so
half.
fun.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be fun, right? I don't know. And someone's like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there."
People
It's
walk
Mom
in
Bart,
and they see the poster that you made at Launchpad,
Yeah.
and people are like,
Oh, Barney made it. Barney.
I know
made
it's
it,
a perfect poster. First
the,
off,
the Blakes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but then
so
also people walk in and are like, "That's going to be a great show."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And so like people are very hyped for it.
I'm
So-
stoked. Yeah. I don't see. The thing is like, what's gonna suck is there's gonna be so many people there I'm gonna talk to, and I'm gonna barely get to talk to like any of
Oh
them.
yeah, you got to visit.
Because I'll be at my booth and don't, just keep walking. Just keep moving. No, sit down.
Do you want to
No.
charge a VIP? Like you can get
Oh,
like
yeah.
a photo op. Yeah.
I'll
There's
be
a
like,
queue.
I'll have my 8x10s. I'll be like, who's this for?
Could you do? I mean, you could like make that like a campy thing that you did. That was like,
What's your
this
ticket
goes to
number?
like a fire relief thing or something in LA, or like there'd be
Mhm.
the thing where you're like, I'm doing this as a joke,
Yeah.
but also at the same time, we're gonna make like good things happen with like the donations.
Yeah.
So like you can be like, I've got 2 hours where I'll be sitting on the throne
Yeah.
in the front room at the bar.
you to
And for
greet
those
me.
times, like if you haven't gotten a chance to say hi to me, come say hi to me and also make a donation that's going toward like,
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do that for sure.
damn, okay.
Well, you already
All right.
have the throne, so.
All
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it. Of course I would.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
fun. So I'm excited for that. I mean, I turned 50. I mean, it's a big, it's, it's one of those like, everybody's like, well, how do you feel about it? I'm like,
I feel 50-50 about it.
it's kind of that. That is kind of realistic. It's like, I talked to a couple of people. They're like, I turned 50 last year. And I'm like, how do you feel? And they're like, it's good. It's like, it's transformative because you're like, all right, I'm definitely on the backside,
Well,
it's like,
come on.
Listen,
you don't know
you
what
don't know-
science is going to
Yeah,
do. You don't know
exactly.
any of that.
Oh, I know what it's
I
going to
mean-
do. We're going to live forever. Thank you, Elon.
The next 4 years might be a little weird, but
I'm
after
going to sample that
it's
out of
gonna
this
be-
recording and just be like, thank you, Elon. Thank you, Elon. Thank you.
We
We'll
can
that
play it
for
at
you,
your
okay.
birthday.
I'm going to give it to DJ Ren for your birthday party.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like hit it on the sample pad.
Yeah. It's funny too. People come up, they're like, "I'm excited to go to your birthday." I was like, "Yeah, don't." And you know what? Don't worry about the registry. Some things are over $50. Under $50. A lot of things under $50. Yeah, no, it's fucking funny. But thank you, Alexis Berent, for being on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. It's been a fun time.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah and Kelly, for kind of filling in for Smiley, who
No. Just
thank
here
you
to
very
be
much.
ended up showing up.
Extra female representation.
Thank you
We're
for
just
letting
happy
us
that-
just hang
I
out.
always love hanging out with y'all.
We like hanging out with you.
Yeah. Oh, and also thank you guys for letting us use dry heat for the podcast.
That was so fun. I
Right.
really loved
And-
having you guys in there.
And I
Anytime.
apologize for not cleaning up after we did the Twisted Tea shotgunning at the beginning.
No, that was not the
That's
problem.
great.
The
That's
problem was the champagne at the end that you splattered all
Ooh.
over you.
I don't even remember the shit.
I know.
I threw up that night, by the way.
Well, sure.
I did.
That's
We had to clean that up too. It was like,
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding. That was
come
not
on.
happening.
No,
It
no,
was
no,
not
no.
happening.
I threw up in my throw up spot downtown.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
You have a spot?
Of course.
Nice.
Well, I've thrown up there twice, so yeah, I guess
Mhm.
so.
So now it's like it's got like that
Mhm.
special
Tradition.
meaning.
Well, the first
Mhm.
time was nothing to do with alcohol. I went to one of those seafood boil places, and
Ooh.
No.
You just ate too much.
You need to tell.
no,
You need to say which one it
No.
was because Albuquerque Foodies like only talks about the
I
seafood
wouldn't
place.
eat seafood in New Mexico.
Oh, it's actually
Yeah.
pretty okay.
Yeah.
We do okay as long as you go on the right days. Like we have some of the best sushi I think in the country.
Yeah.
Like we really,
do you really think that?
I really
don't know.
genuinely think that.
Where
I really,
does it come from? How is it fresh?
it's flown in.
Yeah.
Like the right places have like it.
What
like,
sushi
brought
place
to-
are you going to?
It depends. Like it depends on the night.
Yeah.
Like so,
I go to Sushi Hana. Which is
I love
fine.
Sushi Hana.
Yeah.
I don't eat seafood, so I don't know why I'm in this conversation.
Oh well, yeah. Don't worry about it.
But-
Then you moved to the right place. Honestly, if you were in Detroit and you're like, where can I go?
Yeah.
Albuquerque. You know.
Sean Kananen like ate seafood here or ate sushi here, and he was like, "That was awful." And I was like, "Well, you ate sushi in the desert, dude."
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
all I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
think.
Sushi Hana's green chili roll is one of my favorite
That's
sushi
the
rolls.
best, dude.
It's
so
so
good.
Have you had
unbelievable.
the volcano?
I have
seen
not.
it. I've seen somebody else eat it, and I've been like,
super good. Yeah, and it's like a stacked roll, and then they do like a red chili sauce that drip. You know,
Whoa.
so good.
let's go.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding. Wait, Sunday? No, never mind. I'm
Yeah,
just
no
kidding.
Sunday, no Monday.
Yeah,
That's
no
what they always say
Sunday,
about
yeah. Right.
seafood in New Mexico.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Mhm. You have to get it on the day it ships.
Yeah.
Is it Friday? Thursday, Friday is like big.
Yeah, Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday are good because it's the freshest it can be, and then Saturday still fresh, no problem. But then Sunday, Monday, they're like, we didn't sell this on Thursday and Friday.
What
and
about
Saturday."
Tuesday?
Tuesday's fine because it's like new.
They
it's,
get
like,
a new-
refreshes.
When they get it in?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
They get shipments, I think, Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep. So there you go.
Good to know, just in
Yeah.
case.
Mhm.
Chinese
I
food.
Change my palate.
Don't eat
Yeah.
anywhere. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
come
That is
on.
a
There's
lie.
good Chinese food.
That is-
What's
There
Fantang.
is not good Chinese.
Come
food.
on.
Fantang.
You
got-
Fantang is the best.
It's Fantang erasure. I can't. I won't.
I don't
allow
mind.
it.
I don't mind Yummy House.
Oh, yeah, also
Yeah.
good.
Lulu's.
Lu-
We go to
Like-
Lulu's.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh,
our
Lulu's?
spot.
Well, yeah, I would say like just yeah,
Lulu's
but
is
also
fine.
Fantang is unbelievable, and
Yeah.
it's on
We
it's on
haven't tried it.
it's on
Fantang-
DoorDash, and it's also like
And
it delivers
and,
well. It's so good.
And that establishment used to be a bar called Harlow's on the Hill that was owned by James Smiley.
Me and my
Hey.
brother.
Yeah.
Me and my brother.
It's so beautiful.
We
Where
paid,
they had a thing called the meat waffle,
yeah.
and on Thursday women eat free meat waffles.
That was,
All right.
Ah.
that was the ladies' night.
Ladies' night.
I love that.
On ladies' night, ladies eat meat waffles for free.
Ladies eat meat free.
No, that was our flyer.
Yeah.
We had that up. We put it in the alibi.
And I've seen the flyer.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah.
We painted it purple. Like, we really did not take this seriously at all.
No, I love it.
And the
though.
bar shut down because the guy who owned the building was raided by the feds.
Of
Yeah.
course, yes, of course.
Oh,
It had
that'll
nothing
do
to do
it.
with us.
Yeah.
That's
That'll
the
do
only
it.
way to do cool shit is
Yeah.
like to have some guy who's like, I'm very rich and the time is ticking.
He's like, yeah, man, I got a lot of shit. Hey, you wanna open some? Yeah, let's do it. Like constantly like that. You're like,
Hey,
oh,
Meat
yeah.
waffles, hell yeah.
No,
So-
it was the largest marijuana smuggling ring in the U.S. at that point.
Damn.
and now they're all legitimate.
And now Fantang is also still there and wonderful. Like it really is so good.
Yeah.
Their
You can
dipping
thank
sauces.
me
I know.
for their tile floor.
I know. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you,
Genuinely.
Smiley.
Well,
All right.
me and my brother.
I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm and not football today. I get it. That's probably why we have such a low turnout, but that's fine. Football is important. Go whoever.
People listen after.
Yeah, they will. And they do. But I want to make one more announcement. We're trying to move everything more towards YouTube here.
Hell yeah.
I'm pushing everything towards YouTube. So if you guys listen to this show and you love this show, like, follow, subscribe on YouTube. And we're going to push it more towards that way. I'm going to clip more things. Maybe I'll film Smiley doing weird Smiley things and put them up for you guys. But more towards YouTube because that's just where everything is. You know, that's where all everything is going. And I want to get off some of the other platforms. I don't want to get off them, but I mean, I'm go to YouTube.
De-emphasizing.
I'd like to make money.
Mhm.
I don't need to make money. I just
That'd be nice.
I'd like to pay Smiley for coming over, and then when he's late, I can be like, I'm gonna have to write you up, Smiley. It's part of the contract. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm like I'm the one that brings in all the deals.
He does. He's the money guy so far. But yeah, so like us and subscribe on YouTube. Go and follow Dry Heat Comedy on all the social media platforms. Follow Alexis Berent and follow her career. And and if you're in the union, vote for her for an Academy Award
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
One
today.
day.
Woo-woo.
Today. Just kidding.
Do it.
Do it. And with that,
We are 10
10
drink
drink minimum.
minimum.